Good evening.
Everywhere I go on this island, it seems to me I find degeneracy.
Watch a few movies, take a few notes. See, it's a lot scarier when there's no motive, Sid.
We have a bargain.
Watch a few movies, take a few notes.
Do you feel the pain? Oh, it's the pain, I can assure you, will be exquisite.
Watch a few movies, take a few notes.
His entire work consists of violence, all the time. Obsessed with the issue of violence. Mayhem, gouging out of eyes, autopsies on the stage.
Come. It is time to keep your appointment.
Good evening, all. Welcome to our second December stream, I think. I'm not going to do the maths on that. You let me know if I'm correct later.
You're right.
Oh, well, hey. Perfect. This is the 133rd episode of Double Feature Horror Show. A little bit of a special one, little one that's been in the offing for a while. So I'm glad to see people turning up. I see some people have been looking forward to this. Theremin Trees, this is for you, mate. I hope you enjoy it. Some people really wanted us to cover this film. Other people really don't want us to cover this film. I hope somehow we can be sensible centrists and find a compromise. You know, do something that works for everyone, right? That's gonna work in this very special episode, focusing on Tom Six's The Human Centipede first sequence. Got an absolute banging title drop, hasn't it?
Well, hell yeah!
Did you do the thing where it's like, that's the name of the film?
Yeah, I did. Yes, yeah. When he did that, I was like,
"Oh, he said it! He said it! It's the name of the movie." I thought you'd go for that.
I forgot he says it. Yeah, he says it in German though, doesn't he?
And in
no,
English.
he says it straight out in English.
Oh, there you go.
Well, folks, we will get onto this. We're going to play a little game first. We're going to try and raise some culture here. So I thought before we get right into it, so people don't totally rage quit because we're covering this film, I figured we'll play a little game. We'll do a little high culture, and then we will talk about The Human Centipede.
High culture, you say?
Oh yeah, high culture.
Okay,
high culture, Haryan. I mean,
you have raised my expectations.
Oh yeah.
Pray you do not disappoint.
Would I ever? But before we go further, let's do the standard thing. Of course, it would be rude if I didn't introduce you. So, starting with my regular co-host, he shows no love to homo thugs, empty out, reload, and throw more slugs.
Oh, bit of DMX. Bit of DMX. I love that.
Oh, 2 lines.
Rest in peace, DMX.
Damn it. I could have
How
got
are you
away
going
with
to
one
explain a man, even if we squash the beef, I ain't touching your hand?
I've got the lyrics out in front of me, chat. I can confirm that is correct. Well done.
I was bumping some DMX the other day, actually.
Oh, were you?
Great to listen to while you're doing the washing up.
Oh, nice. Very nice.
Hmm.
I figured after I've got to mix it up because last week you got that Billy song a bit too quick,
Yeah.
Deeply suspicious. I thought I'd balance it out with something with a bit of thug energy. Adam loves horror, also clearly aware of his DMX. And Fez is here looking forward to a good
tempted.
family-friendly stream.
I'm so tempted to bark right now.
You got that dog in you.
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
No,
and hello, Mima. You are definitely not late. We'll be good. We're going to be good on time tonight. Now, it's not just with you and I. TCG has brought an outsider into this situation. A driller. Driller cuck.
Oh,
It's the queen of drill rap.
You guys are
sorry. I'm putting the stuff together for a commentary on The Shining, and so I'm deep in it. So forgive me. I assure you, it's a Shining reference.
Is it?
Yeah.
Driller and Cook are a Shining reference.
If I said that, well, he says cook, not cuck,
Okay.
and but you're not a chef, and he doesn't say driller. Dr. Prepper's got an idea of what he actually says. Yeah.
Well, there we go. It is Driller with a hard R. Yes.
Yes, and
But
for
only
people,
I can use that word.
yeah, and people, I'm glad people are excited. I will say that I had members vote on what films I'd do the commentary for, and The Shining, I think, was the winner by quite a mile. So I'm glad there's anticipation for that. And I'm going to try and, I said this last week, just so I've got the challenge for myself, I'm going to try and get you the Black Christmas commentary out before Christmas. I'm going to try and drop that for you. So members, you will get an advanced sighting of one of these commentaries. But that took us away from something, because I introduced you, Harry, and then I didn't actually speak to you. Sorry, that was very rude of me.
Oh, classic. No, it's okay. Hello, I'm back because a proper horror show likes putting me through torture, which is what this film is.
I called you up, didn't I, straight away?
You did. You're like,
there was no one else. I was going to show the DMs, and I thought that's a bit too much. But I think
yeah, the only reason I'm here is because proper horror show is currently holding my family hostage, so I've got to go through this, or they get put through a similar process.
She'll stitch them together.
Exactly. Yeah.
A to M.
And there were some points in this film I thought, you know what, it's not worth it. It's better that they go through it like in real life. But then I thought, nah, I don't think they'll survive it. They're all a bit too old, So, yeah, and I don't know if they're necessarily a match. I don't know. I think there's science behind that.
Well, I can assure you, this film is 100% medically accurate, as the poster tells us.
Does the poster actually say that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want me to get the poster up? It's a good poster.
Well, you can get it up, but I can. I remember it. I just don't remember it saying that.
Oh, well, it's a beauty.
I remember it raised a lot of eyebrows when it made that claim.
Well, they talk to a doctor. What more do you want? All right, here we go.
Was the doctor Nick Riviera by any chance?
Oh, Lord.
You got all that from one bag of hostages? Oh, dear. Oh, shall we move this? If I move us to the side, there you go.
There you go.
Right,
yeah.
just
100% medically accurate.
100%. Yeah. There it is. Actually, there you'll see my cursor on screen. Hopefully, they're 100% medically accurate. There you go. Their flesh is his fantasy. I think is a bit weak.
Yeah.
As a tagline, to be honest. But
it is true, though. I guess.
Yeah. I mean, we'll get into what they represent for him, but we're staying off. Basically, just I thought it had to be you, Haryan.
Yeah.
Last time we were really nice. I got you on for a high class one. We talked about the Wicker Man. That was good times.
High class. You know what? You do have to balance it out. You can't pick favorites. And so,
life is about balances. Yeah. Apples and oranges.
All right. So next time you better show me the best film ever made.
Well, I was thinking we could get you back. We could get you back for back-to-back horror show streams. Teeth week 1, and then the scrotum the following week.
I'd rather watch Five Nights at Freddy.
Oh, come on. TCG really wants to see scrotum. Are you going to leave him hanging?
Do I want to say? Hey, look, I've already seen it. I've already watched it because I'm strongly considering reviewing it on my channel. If you're absolutely too chicken to do it yourself,
I want to see what the poster for scrotum looks like. Why has it got a gas mask? Scrotum, the second one. Excuse me.
Oh yeah, they made a sequel.
The sack is back.
yeah.
Oh dear.
Oh my Lord.
Yeah, the sequel makes all the difference.
Hang on, that was made in 2019.
Yeah, I think the sequel was 2021. I think it was.
Oh, there you go.
It's like a little indie film, like very, very independently made. And for some reason, like Amazon have it free on Prime, and I was just like, oh, okay, that's like advertised on the front of the main page, and I'm like, okay, I'm watching too much horror.
You know, I'm seeing some appreciation here. Not just Murgoot, who's appreciating the original Black Christmas. Hello, Murgoot. Good to see you, man. Hopefully, have you back in January when we're back on the anthologies. Nearly out of the 90s. We've only been going all year. nearly broken the century, boys. Woo! But also, I see John Gorris, big fan of this. Yeah, John Gorris is appreciating Dieter Laz's performance. Well done. I'm glad to hear that. And I think people are maybe understandably primed to hate this one, but I think I'm going to try and sway you all. Adam Loves Horror has dropped $4.99. I won't ever see this movie, but glad it will bring us together. Well,
wink, wink.
Adam, I think this movie is all about bringing us closer together. No matter what kind of like cultural barriers, language barriers we have, we can all learn to get closer. You know, form an unbreakable bond. You know.
God.
And this is in the rest of the message in the super chat. It says this is an advance for Saturday Scream video. Looking forward to it. Well, you've done my work for me, Adam. Thank you so much for the $4.99. It's much appreciated. Yeah, the Scream video is dropping on Saturday. TCG, what are you doing on Saturday?
On Saturday, I will probably be. What time on Saturday? Because I'm going to be working between 3 and 9. I'm going to be working between 3 and 9 on Saturday, I'm afraid. But
exactly. You'll be watching that premiere.
Exactly.
Haryan, how about yourself on Saturday?
After
glad to hear it. Front row seats.
I'll tell you what, I did see the preview, the 10-minute preview that you uploaded the other day, and yeah, it looks very, very impressive from that little bit. And how long is the total video? It's
2 hours and 41 minutes, and I'm starting to think I shouldn't have wussed out. There are a few bits I cut out because I thought I'm being too focused. I'm going into too much detail here. Like you have to be quite selective when you really fire up the autism cannon. And I thought I kind of overstepped the line in a few places, so I trimmed it. But
no. You need to be the long man.
It's pretty long. I mean, it's 2 hours 41. But
is that it? Pump those numbers up. You got those rookie numbers.
Oh, shall we do like the director's cut when I put in all the extra stuff?
Yeah, why not? Yeah, do it for your Patreons.
There you go. It'll be a members special. But yeah, folks, get it in your calendar, just like Adam Loves Horror has done. Click the notification. I will be there 8 p.m. Grab a drink, get cozy. This is the most detailed I've ever been. I think, yeah, this is my longest video, and I hope you like it. All right. With that said, we are now going to... Oh, sorry. Would you like to do a bit of shilling first, just before we get into it? Quick shills? Haryan, if you'd like to go first.
Yes, okay. Because I really like the idea of self-harm, I've decided to react to a Philosophy Tube video, and it's really bad. So first part was out yesterday, second part's out tomorrow, and then there should only be one more part that's out next week at some point, because I hate myself. It's not... I didn't realize how disingenuous a person could be, but for some reason, since there's a lot of production value in the video, people just believe everything Philosophy Tube says, and it makes me want to die. So go watch that. You can watch me get progressively more annoyed.
Speaking about firing up the autism cannon, I liked that you just instantly you'd call that. There was one thing about a campaign that PT said started in 1972, and bless you, you looked it up and was like, no, that's not true.
I was like,
even basic stuff.
It was stuff I just went on Wikipedia for. It was like the Manchester's wages for women's work or something, and it's like, oh, women deserve to be paid for like cleaning their own house. I was like, well, for a start, you don't make any argument as to why that should be the case, because I clean my own house and don't get paid. And secondly, every detail you've just said is wrong. So it's going to be that type of video. If you want less of that, though, I also do a stream on Tuesdays on the Wellington Project where we just go through current events, news of the week, slightly more serious, but still good fun. And then obviously Tailed Feature stream every Wednesday, or usually every Wednesday. It's actually on right now when my girlfriend's taken my place to talk about funnier stories of the week. And the last I heard them talking about, Tash was saying how she had a 12 ounce gammon and Tailed ask what was his name. So
Whoa.
so,
Nice.
Go over for those dark jokes where I'm no doubt getting absolutely rinsed.
Do it. Oh, I will also say, because there'll be some people who don't know, but back in the day, Haryan was actually the second co-host and remains a very good friend of the channel. And we get him back for special occasions. But Haryan was in for, I think, like the first 90 shows. So it did about 2 years on here. And then we got him back for the 100th, which was Wicker Man. So in case you don't know, there's a bit of stream lore. This is literally the OG team back together.
I was there when the magic was written.
Absolutely. You know what? It's like your Keisha, TCG is Mucha, and I'm balls. What was her name? Who's the ginger lass? Siobhan.
I don't know who these people are.
Neither do I.
What?
You're getting too cultured now.
I'm not even going to say. All right, chat is going to correct you in your straight away. Mucha, Keisha, and Siobhan. Go on.
Destiny's Child?
No. What a throwback, though.
I will. I'll leave it for chat to fill you in. How about you, TCG? Any quick shills?
I finished off the last of the supermassive games, The Dark Pictures, The Devil in Me. I finished that off on Tuesday night over on my second channel, That Crime Guy Live. I have to say, I really think that we should maybe look at some sort of horror games as something to review here, because I'll tell you what, the experience for me personally, when you're actually holding that controller and controlling the protagonist is far more immersive than sitting down and watching a movie these days, as evidenced by the amount of girly screams I made. Especially Monday night, I actually hit frequencies I didn't think was possible for my voice. So check them out. But in terms of main channel stuff, the true crime stuff I've taken a little bit of a break from at the moment. As you probably noticed, I haven't uploaded since Halloween. But the live streams do continue. Tomorrow night we will be doing another community quiz. So subscribe, get on over there and get your seats ready for 9 p.m. UK time. I'll have Proper Horror Show over there along with Murgu, and I'm bringing back Denziel as well. And LPR Presents will also be around as well. But there's going to be no co-host. I'm going solo this week. I figured as it's Christmas time, I think I'd get the old gang back together, similar to like what we're doing here tonight, and we'll have a little bit of fun. And of course, you can expect some mug shorties as well.
Mug shorties is best round.
Yes.
All right. Lovely stuff. Lovely stuff. All right. Well, I should. Oh, I waste too much time on the stream, but I'm having fun chatting. So I'll move us swiftly on to. Oh, and I've done my shilling already. You know, super chats are on. You've got memberships. If you get memberships, you get early access. I find out you can now do an early release just to members before releasing widely. So I've been doing that, testing it out with a screen preview. The main thing, I want you there Saturday, 8 p.m. The big Scream premiere, Scream 6, deep review, tear it apart. It's going to be wonderful. You're going to enjoy it. All right, good. There we go. And I will move us now onto our game. Will this work? It worked.
Oh my lord! Look at that PowerPoint.
How smooth these. I have no. Okay, I think you could do this better in OBR, but I don't know how to do that. So we're doing it in PowerPoint. Trust me. Now we did this last week. I think it went down quite well. The thing I have to change is there'll be a 2-minute limit per round, and this is based on, but for copyright reasons, distinct from the BBC's own Only Connect. This is more suitable to a horror audience. There we go. Yeah. We had good fun with this last time. Now I gather neither you, Haryan, nor TCG have ever watched Only Connect.
No.
I've not watched a full episode. I've kind of seen it on as I'm flicking through. I kind of get the idea of it, but please do explain in case I'm wrong.
Wonderful. Well, for anyone who has not seen it, it's a game show, and we do like our game shows here. where it's all about finding the connections between things. You will have 2 minutes per round. You can unveil clues as you go. And when you think you know the connection, just say, they do it for points. I think that'll be way too confusing. So we're just going to do it for kudos here. So yeah, this should be a good one. I think, do we start with that one? We're going to start with number 2. I think that's a more gentle one to go in on. And chat, you guess too. If you beat them, you win, chat. You win. All right. So the first clue is 2009, 3. Wait, that's a bad one. No, we'll go with that. We'll go with that. We can go with this one. Right. This is your first clue. And the timer has started. Would you like a second clue?
What do you think, Haryan?
I mean, I take it we can confer without actually saying an answer.
Oh yeah, you two confer. You are a team.
I don't know if 3 means like number of films in, say, a genre, or the third film of a series to come out.
It might be wise to get a second clue to start making.
Yes. Okay.
I will actually say there are only 3 clues to connect in this one.
Okay.
This
12.
Wait, what? Okay, so obviously 2009, 2011, the year
is this the number of kids Jimmy Savile did?
No. Please, my precious monetization. I'm going to fight. I'm going to have to fight so much to retain monetization in the stream.
I'm so sorry.
I mean,
2011, 12. So that's 2 years later.
You can have a third clue.
Hold on a minute. Hold on a minute.
Speak your mind.
Let's go for a third. Yeah, go for a third clue.
Yeah, go for a third, because I don't know. 2015, 500.
Jesus.
Wow, Jimmy Savile got a lot.
I mean, okay, that's my theory of it being Friday the 13th out the window.
I don't even know what it could be. 3, 12, 500. Going up in those years. I can't even think of. I assume this is horror related, obviously, as well.
It is horror related.
Okay, there's no way 500 horror films came out in 2015.
You have 10 seconds left.
That's not a bad shout, actually.
The number of horror films that came out in 2015 was 500. Was there a film festival?
I don't know.
Where the theme was horror films.
I don't know. Let's just go with that.
I'm afraid your time has run out, guys.
Go on.
To get an idea of what only correct.
Oh no! Is this something to do with the BBFC?
No.
Oh, okay.
No. This is. Oh, darn it! Dead End Satellite. You were close. I thought you had it there when I started reading your comment. I thought you were close with it. No. This is the number of people in a human centipede in each year. 2009, the first one we're reviewing, is 3.
Yeah.
The sequel was 12. The third, there's 500. There is an edit which makes the film kind of an Ouroboros. And I thought that could make it sort of all together, but I thought that's cheating and it would just get too confusing. Right?
Yeah. I mean, very good. Now that you've said it, it's obvious. Yeah.
I'm absolutely kicking myself now. That's ridiculous.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Okay, here we go. I've got to remember we skipped the first one. Right. So new one starting now.
Okay.
Dwayne Jones, Night of the Living Dead. Never seen that.
Chat, I'm looking forward to you guessing as well.
Do you have any ideas? Because I've never actually seen that film.
Was he? I think that was the original one. Was he the black dude?
He was a black dude. Ben.
Okay.
I guess
go for another clue.
Yeah, go for another clue. I don't think we want to. How can you connect with what Tony Todd Candyman? Are these just black bad guy, black antagonists in horror films?
Well, no, I don't think
Ben isn't an antagonist.
No.
Oh right. Well, I've never seen it, so.
Is this something to do with the? Oh, hang on a minute, because I think Dwayne Jones was the last person to die in that film.
Does Tony Candyman die?
He technically dies at the end of Candy. Are these black
people
who die at the end of films?
Yes,
Yes.
There you go. Well done.
you got it. Oh my god, you
Nice.
got it in 2.
Nice. What was
Yeah,
it?
this is Black Guy Dies Last.
Oh no.
This. These are films that disprove that. Black guys
Yeah,
always die
because
first
of
in
the
horror.
meme.
Yeah, Very
So I
good.
thought I'd do one where it was like, where do they die last? Yeah, well done, TC.
Nice one.
Blooming.
Nice.
If you did that in the show, they would be extremely impressed,
Would
as
they?
I am, because usually people getting it in the second, very rare. Right, we're going back to the beginning. I thought this one was a little harsh, but now, yeah, Devonte, Lupita is not a guy, but I thought I'd balance it out. You're absolutely correct. I'm trying to think. I actually swapped her out for someone, and I can't remember who it was.
Is this white women who die at the start of the film?
Would you like to reveal the second clue so you've got to start?
Yes, because
Yeah.
I again, this is a film I'm not aware of.
All right.
Okay, it's not white women.
Okay. Hold on.
I don't know. Have you seen Valentine?
I haven't. I don't think I've seen Valentine.
I wonder if I should give you like 3 minutes, because like 2 feels quite tight. I'm gonna make it 3 minutes for you.
Yeah, my only thought so far is that assuming Jessica Capshaw is a robot, it's like robots in films.
Oh, 70 suit. Yeah, Scatman Crothers in The Shining would have been an amazing answer. Well done.
Do you need a third?
Do you want a
we should go
third?
for it. I think we should go for one. Yeah.
Yeah, go for a third. Who?
So
No idea.
Beast is the name of the movie from 2022, and if I said any more about those characters, I'd be giving it away.
Right, okay. But they're 3 separate characters, or 3 actors, I take it.
No,
No, that's one person.
they're not actually actors.
Oh. Well,
it depends how you. Anyway,
now
I'll
I'm
be giving
confused.
too much
Right,
away.
okay.
I've got no idea. That
Yeah, I
Arnold
don't know.
Schwarzenegger one's really throwing me off.
Last
Give
one.
us
I
the
was
last
thinking-
one, yeah. Sorry. What were you thinking?
I was kind of thinking like Bad Guys Gone Good in later films, but I don't think it's that.
Not with the Scarecrow, you reckon?
Again, the only one I've seen is The Terminator.
Yeah,
It's not antagonist Devontae.
I mean-
It's a lot more. It's more infuriating than that.
Time travelers. Time travelers in films.
Nope.
Damn.
Is this okay? Is it the opening scene that they're in? They're naked.
No, it is
Damn
not.
it.
That was an
I
interesting
like
one.
the thought, yeah.
That would be a bit harsh for me
Yeah.
to do, but I mean, this is harsh, to be honest with you.
That's it. We're not gonna get it. Just go on. Go
Okay,
on.
would it help if I could tell you that?
Is it their name is in the title?
No, but you should pay attention to the character name in the first one, and I will tell you that Kudakawa and Nandi are all lions.
Non-humans in films.
Non-humans, yeah.
I don't know who Jessica Capshaw is.
She is the actress who played a character in Valentine.
What?
Are they all crushed to death at
Okay.
the end of the film?
No.
Oh, I'm really thinking.
Let's see, I'm waiting for chat. Does not have it. This will infuriate you guys, to be honest. I may have gone too esoteric here.
Did they all gouge their eyes out?
It's more what they represent than what they do.
Ah.
But
They
that
represent-
that is 3 minutes.
don't
The
know.
connection, the correction is The Wizard of Oz.
What?
Tin
Oh my God.
Man.
Capshaw
Oh
plays
my
Dorothy,
God.
Tin Man, Lion, Scarecrow.
Ah,
Right.
that's good. I like that.
That's thinking
good.
outside the box, but
Yeah.
you
It's weird answers. It's weird answers, guys.
you deserve
Um,
jail time for that question.
So
I
hang
know.
on. Just to clarify, is Jessica Capshaw's character name Dorothy then?
Yes,
Okay.
No, a good guess.
I know that was that. You put the harsh one first to make it harder for
Yeah.
people.
Yeah, that really threw me. That's very good. I like that. I like this game.
The Terminator's not technically made out of tin, just saying. But carry on.
I know it wasn't. That was a cheat. All right. I think, is this the last one I've got for round? Yeah, that's the last one I've got for round 4. And weirdly, that next one should not have shown because that was last week. Anyway, or last time we did it. So this is another one in round 1, just finding the connection. Okay. Would you like a second clue?
Yes.
Yeah. Ooh.
This is tougher. Well, no, this isn't as tough as last time. This is a bit more literal.
Okay.
These look like the titles of films that are missing the first word, but I don't know what the first word is.
That could be a promising line of inquiry.
Because, like, my thought would be the church by the cemetery, but then the church that dripped blood, or I don't know.
I'm looking at chat. I see Brundlefly says house, and I'm thinking house by the cemetery.
All right, go on. And
house,
is
house
it
that drip blood?
Yes.
You know what? I was going to say I'm going to trust the chat. The house.
It's true.
I think
It's true.
Okay, I'm pretty happy with that.
So
The house,
minus
that
so the film House,
Yeah.
and then the house that Jack built. Yes.
Very good.
Yeah,
very good.
we'd probably get the house that Jack built there, to be honest with you.
Yeah, you're flying on this one. You're into it.
Yeah.
You've got the hang of it. All right. Shall we move on to round 2 with a sequence?
Go on. Entertain me.
Okay. Your time starts. Give me a second now.
Okay, was this the original Human Centipede film?
You know what? When did Alfred Hitchcock start making films? And has he ever made more than one in a year?
Okay, 29 was The Stranger. I think he had a 1924 one. Oh, yeah, by the way, well done, Brundlefly. Adam Loves Horror is correct, yes. You should have got kudos for that. We have a guess from Devonte, Frankenstein. It's not Frankenstein, but you have that is the year that we got a very good Frankenstein.
Yeah. Okay.
Would you like a second one in the sequence?
Yeah.
Yeah.
1931, 3. I realise I should read it out because most people don't watch it; they just listen.
Yeah,
1931, 3. 1951, 4.
So these ones have a connection at the very end. So the question mark is the reveal. I'm guessing.
The question mark will be the one that completes the sequence.
Right.
So you have to say what finishes the sequence.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Oh, right. So we'll get the third one, and then
if 1971 would be 6, then 1991 could be 8.
Think what they
5.
represent.
Yeah, I was going to say it's got to do with horrors.
It's of interest to this channel. Let's say.
Number of varieties of popcorn at an Odeon cinema.
Would you like the third clue?
Yeah.
I think we would.
Okay.
I'm keeping an eye on chat. Has anyone in chat got it? This is a UK specific, I should say.
BBFC. The amount
it is the BBFC.
I was going to say,
the
yeah.
BBFC?
I imagine it's the ratings they have.
Well, I was thinking more along the lines of, is it the number of films that they banned?
It's not. Haryan actually got it.
Oh, nice one.
It's the number of ratings.
Yeah.
In 1931, they had 3. We got U, A, and H, and the X certificate comes in 51.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. And it goes up to 1970. So what should be?
Whatever it is 5. Whatever year. 1982.
It is.
Yeah. So you got you easy.
Yes. Get those Furmans posting. Furmans in the chat, boys. Oh dear. All right. I think I've got one more of these prepped. If you're up for it,
go for it.
I'm having a good time.
Oh, lovely. Chat, tell me if you 72 number of subscribers. It feels like that, to be honest.
I was to say maybe the chat have forgotten that we're actually here covering a Human Centipede.
Shall we do the Goosebumps thing again?
Oh my god, yeah, you weren't here for that, Harry. And we literally spoke for about an hour and a half about nothing, about everything. Sorry, about everything but Goosebumps. I think we spent about half an hour on it.
The film was that bad.
It wasn't a film; it was a TV series.
Oh, right. Oh.
Hello.
Oh my god, it's Ryan Gosling. He's literally me. Right.
Reading it out for the benefit of anyone listening and not watching. Where the first clue is: Where's Craven? Scream.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so he created Scream, or at least directed the first few.
Mm-hmm.
Chat, I'm glad you're liking this. I love to see it. I have a lot of fun making these.
Should we go for another one?
Yes.
Remember, you've got to get the connection, think it out, and then complete the sequence.
Right. So these are directors of franchises, or at least the start of franchises. Then, yeah.
Yeah.
So what's the third?
Oh, do you want to see it?
Well, we've got that. We have to guess the sequence, don't we?
Mm-hmm.
So
you've got to get what the fourth one is.
Okay. Well, I don't know what order you're doing the sequence in.
They are in an order.
Oh.
There's a logic to them.
So, Scream. When did Scream come out? Like 96?
Yes.
96, yeah.
Evil Dead must have been before that.
Yeah.
Do you know how many years? Was that an 86 film?
I think it might have been.
Well, if we go with
Peter, I think maybe Peter Jackson might be next.
With what?
Oh my god, what was it called? One with all the blood in it.
Brain Dead?
Brain Dead, that's it.
Oh, that's
okay. What's the logic?
I've got no idea.
Well,
would you like to see the third clue?
Yeah, let's have a look.
Yeah, let's.
Right, third one in the sequence.
Okay.
So what's the genre called? Like a stab fest?
These are no, because Scream isn't.
Yeah.
Are these? Oh, hang on a minute. Are these films that like birthed sort of like a trend? Well, I say because Scream, because Scream essentially rebirthed the slasher genre.
Yeah.
Through like your horror lens. Yeah, Evil Dead was like your supernatural. You've got Saw, which essentially birthed
torture
porn,
yeah.
And so
I'm sorry, I've just realised I've done fake news. I'm going to do a live correction.
Oh my!
Oh, okay.
Live correction. There you go.
Yeah. Okay.
Now it's correct.
So is the last one supposed to be Saw with those two guys?
No. I think
we'll tell you it is. But actually, I will comment no more.
Right. Okay. I'm thinking.
Well, I don't even know what Hostel is.
Mate, you should watch it. I don't know. I don't know what the answer is, but I feel like I'm on the right track. These are like films.
Chat has had some interesting guesses, and I unfortunately cannot confirm for you, Chat.
Well,
if anyone has got it right yet.
Well, I'm gonna just throw out Hitchcock.
Okay,
Hitchcock and Psycho.
Okay, or
that would be correct.
Nice.
You love to see it. What was the actual logic behind this?
Well, it's actually been guessed by Chat. I went for Clive Barker and Hellraiser.
Oh,
Murgut actually got it really quickly.
Oh, nice one.
He got it in 2. So, yes, it's directors and the number of films in the series that they directed. So, Wes Craven did 4
1, 2, 3,
in Scream.
Right.
Sam Raimi directed 3 Evil Deads. Eli Roth directed 2 Hostels. I got confused because I thought the original Saw directors did Saw 2, and they didn't. I got that wrong. Right. So, a quick correction. Eli Roth did 2 Hostels, and Clive Barker only did 1 Hellraiser. So, you could have anyone who directed only 1 in a series, which Alfred Hitchcock for Psycho would be.
There you go.
And I think that is... I have got one more.
Okay, do it. I don't want to talk about this film. Just do it.
I will. I said last time I'd put in. I said I'd put in chapters for people for when we actually start talking about the film. But I think it's kind of funnier if we don't.
I mean, they'll work it out from the previews anyway.
Let's see. I'm looking for. All right. So remembering, guys, this is a sequence.
Mm-hmm. All right, Rachel wife. I don't know.
No, neither do I.
Okay, I think we want
Next
the
one.
second one.
Next one.
Gage son.
Oh, hang on a minute.
I can't. This has got to be from a film.
I think Devontae's right. Yeah. I think it is Pet Sematary.
Devontae did get it instantly.
She got it. Yeah, she got it first. Yeah.
All
she
right.
said it in one.
What's the logic of the sequence then? Why is it in this order? Oh, it is Pet Sematary.
Is it the order in which they die?
Yes, that works too. Or I would prefer it's the reverse order in which they are resurrected.
Okay.
That we're told about in the film. Yeah,
Well,
Devontae, bloody hell, mate, you got that straight away. Absolute champion. Kudos. That is correct. Yes, died and resurrected from end to beginning. That is absolutely correct. I realise I've got the latency on, so you actually guessed that as well. Well, that was only correct.
That was fun. I enjoyed that.
Good, isn't it?
I need to read that book again, man. It's so good. I still haven't seen any of the films.
Have you not?
No.
Right, crikey.
Yeah.
Stephen King annoys me, so I refuse to watch or read anything by him.
Fair, and it's before he got on Twitter, which is when it all went downhill.
Yeah, well, fair enough.
Alas. Well, with that, folks, I will. I'm glad you liked it. I think chat got into that, which I like because I really enjoy making these weird little game shows. So I'll move us on now and get us talking about Human Centipede.
Ew. Yes.
Yes. First sequence, I should specify. It's ambitious, isn't it? Like Tom Six, the director, I think he was pitching hard like, this is a series, we're going to keep going. You haven't even seen my final form.
Yeah, well, was it always planned to be a series?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
That is ambitious. I'll give him that.
Mm. He ultimately, so the ending of the third movie had an alternate ending where basically the main character wakes. Dieter Laser, who plays the doctor in this, wakes up from is also in the third, and the alternate ending is him waking up from the dream, and then basically going to start the events of the first movie. Like I think waking up in his car or something from this. So it's looping back on itself. So it shows the movies are all actually connected into each other.
That's stupid. I'm glad that's only an alternate ending.
Yes, I haven't put myself through the third, but I have watched the second. I wanted to ask, before we get into the big details, this might sound like a bit of an obvious question, but I like to ask it. Haryan, what was your experience of this movie before? Like, had you seen it before? Had you known of it before?
So obviously everyone's heard of this film before.
I have to ask.
Oh, I know. I remember a while ago, I can't remember which Charlie Brooker show it was on. It might have been his panel show that he did for a while. But he's critiquing horror films, and I remember that this is like the example of the silly film that it is nothing but an excuse to do horrible things on screen and show it to people. And I remember he just shows a clip of... it's the clip where the doctor's explaining what he's going to do to these people, and then it just cuts to them actually being on the floor, and then an audience it must have been his panel show then, but the audience laughs at it because it's like, oh, this is a ridiculous a ridiculous film then. So obviously it's always been in my mind that it's just a gore fest with a silly story. And then, you know, you think sometimes you're on YouTube late at night and you just think, oh, I remember this film. I wonder what the clips for it were like, and watch some of them from time to time and thought, yeah, it is just gross. And so when you asked me to see it, I was like, oh, but I don't think it'll be very good. But sometimes they bring us the best critiques and episodes. So, you know, I understand why I was brought in for this one.
Oh, I had to get the original team back together for this one. I had to.
Oh,
Okay. And I think I know you also saw the South Park parody as well.
Yes, I did see this Human Centipede, which, the story's pretty much the same. So there you go.
It's more humane than Apple, though.
I'd say, yeah. I mean, well, Apple, you were allowed to get out of it. You just had to read. This one, the Doctor's a bit more evil, I'd say. You know, I have more respect for what's his name? Yeah, Steve Jobs when he was alive than I do for this German Doctor. Mainly because this Doctor's German. Yeah.
And how about yourself, TCG? What was your experience with this before? Had you already seen it?
Oh, I'd already seen it.
Oh, nice. And were you sort of reluctant? Were you like, oh, not again?
No, I was well up for watching this again.
Excellent.
I'm just that demented, you know. I remember I've only seen the second one once, and to be fair, I haven't seen the third one.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Same then. Yeah. Well, I figured if you'd probably, you know, take this one a lot better. I mean, you were just singing the praise of, oh yeah, I just watched the scrotum.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
it can't possibly be worse than that.
Yeah, you're down with it. You're down with it. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. I think I'm going to pitch that this film had an unfair reputation. It is indeed disgusting. I'm not coming out and saying like this is an absolute masterpiece, but I think a lot of the criticism, how can I say, just sort of stops at the premise, and we'll try and go a little bit deeper. But for the benefit of anyone who doesn't, I mean, I think everyone knows about the Human Centipede because it kind of became a meme just because of the premise. But
yeah, exactly.
Yes, as you know, as much as they tried to keep the actual details of that very quiet when they were getting the funding, they were just saying, you know, like, it's kind of a mad scientist movie, and he like stitches people together and stuff. They kept the exact methodology quiet until they had that money. In fact, they tried to keep it kind of quiet to the actors too. But here we go. For anyone who hasn't heard of it, who hasn't seen it, who hasn't done their homework or followed any of the memes, TCG, could you give us the sort of 1 minute pint of Guinness summary of the Human Centipede? First,
I mean, what really is there to say? Opens up with a doctor holding a picture of his Dreihund, and nice.
Yeah,
and
I thought
Meine liebe Dreihund.
Meine liebe Dreihund, yeah, that's the thing. And he shoots a man. And then and then the scene changes to two women just touring, not touring through Europe, but traveling through Europe, and they're on their way to, I think it's a party, if I remember correctly.
Yeah,
and
they get lost on the way. Car breaks down
in the rain, in the middle of the woods.
Yeah. And then there's this German man here
asking German Chad
asking for some frickin', and they get disgusted. In the
end, to schlubben my cocken. Yeah.
Lieben my Wienen. They end up. He buggers off. The girls go into the woods. It's all chucking it down. They're a bit tired, wet, cold, hungry, all that jazz. And then they come across the doctor's house. He lets them in. Unbeknownst to the two girls, he's actually very, very crazy. He drugs them both and then proceeds to stitch them together along with. Well, initially he was going to use the man that he shot, but his blood didn't match, so he put him out of his misery. And then he finds another tourist, a Japanese man. Oh no, Cairo! This burrito is too delicious. I must eat it.
Shall I eat the cuttlefish?
The cuttlefish or the vanilla paste? The cuttlefish. I will. Are you sure?
Cairo.
Okay,
I
Cairo.
eat the cuttlefish and the asparagus.
Damn it, South Park.
Oh no, Cairo! I believe in you, Cairo.
Can I wake you up?
I can't not think of South Park whenever I watch this film. Anyway,
Ruined
so
by
yeah.
memes.
Anyway, he drugs them. He gets a Japanese guy in who matches, goes through the procedure with them, ends up stitching them together A to M, and then he I don't really
We call that
understand.
Bromley style round here.
I don't really understand what happens after. I mean, he's like treating them like a dog, essentially, like trying to train them like a dog.
Yeah.
Eventually. Yeah,
I took that as obviously he did it to his pet first, and because this is his creation, he then thinks they're his pet.
I mean, essentially he does dehumanize them.
Well,
can I just stop it? Just because I think I know Adam Loves Horror. It's not like knock knock. No, but I know exactly why you said that. It's this frame, and I saw it and I thought knock knock as well. We will cover knock knock one day, but yeah, sorry.
People liking the A to M censorship there.
Who doesn't like a bit of that censorship? Obviously,
yes.
I think I can probably show this tab. You know what? I am going to warn chat. I know most people listen to this as a lot of people listen to it as just like a podcast.
Family show.
I do have the images on screen. I've done my best, but if you're of a sensitive disposition, this may be a bit more than you usually see me show on stream, and it's sort of hard to get around that. So if you don't want to see some rather extreme images, be warned. Okay, there we go. Disclaimer done.
Nice.
Sweet.
Anyway, yes, as you said, treating them like a dog, like very much literally like a dog, getting the Japanese guy to bring him his
food.
paper.
Yeah. Yeah, get the paper, eat dog food, do tricks, yeah. Fun times, if you ask me.
Yeah. He I mean, you can sort of see in this, he's dancing very excitedly.
Yeah.
Your Japanese guy isn't really going for it much. He's not a fan.
No, he was the worst person to put at the front, really. Which is something I was questioning throughout the film. Why put the most aggressive person at the front?
Because men need to lead, Haryan.
Oh, yeah. Well,
Think about the end of the film. Without the man to lead them, it all ground to a halt, didn't it? It's deeply symbolic. Jonathan Page, you would approve of this. Jordan Peterson would approve of this.
I don't think either of those people would approve of this.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
I don't know. I think... Has the person who made this film been psychiatrically, evaluated?
Tom Six is an interesting guy. He's, he's Dutch. And I think that, not to stereotype too much, guys, but I think that brings with it, in my experience, a certain frankness, a certain lack of inhibition, and a bit of a cheeky humour, I think it's fair to say. And I think some of his claims about the movie are maybe a bit fanciful, but the way he's approached the criticism kind of tickles me, to be honest. Anyway, sorry, TCG, we interrupted you. We'd got the summary to when he's...
I think
outside.
To be fair, I think that's where we should leave, because I think I don't really want to sort of creep too much into the spoilers. I mean, we're going to creep into spoilers, obviously.
Oh yes.
But I feel like we should perhaps go through that as we talk through the film. But I mean, it's a really simple premise, really. It really is.
Yeah.
There's nothing deep about this film apart from the about how far their heads are pushed into each other.
Oh,
But yeah, it's just a really straightforward film. You know, crazy scientist, doctor guy, decides that he would experiment on, well, initially animals, and then now he's moved on to people. And what better way to do it than to attach them into each other? I mean, it's simple. It's great.
We could take a reading from this. Why do you think he wanted to do it?
Well,
what's the motivation?
You know, I kind of
Race.
felt like he did it because he missed his dogs, and I don't know. I mean,
he's. I think he's the type of, there is somewhat insanity here, but it's not just that. He explains it as he used to separate Siamese twins. And kind of the subtext of it is that when I've split people up, I've kind of removed a part of them. Well, if that's a bad thing, then surely putting them together will be a good thing. Why you had to put them together with, ass to mouth, that's just because we wanted to make the Human Centipede less than he wanted to make Siamese twins again.
Well, I think partly why he did that was as he explains to the people, as he explains to the to the volunteers, is essentially like connecting their digestive systems together. So like one will feed the, and then again, like this is where the whole 100% medically accurate thing comes into question, because like by the time it's gone through the first person, it is just a waste product that the other two would be ingesting. And so, it doesn't work in that regard. It's always set up. It's always going to be a failed experiment.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think still, I mean, if you want disturbing stuff, then this is your film.
What do you think about this? Maybe as an explanation, John Gorris saying, "I'd argue about the deepness. It's about megalomania, thinking one is God and can do whatever." Yes. Maybe a bit of a recurring theme in sort of mad scientist stuff.
Well, yeah, it is. It just is mad scientist stuff.
Yeah.
So it works out well. Obviously, he experiments on his dog first, and it's like, well, that died, didn't quite work. I've not got any more dogs, but I want to try it on people because obviously he's a human doctor, not a vet. So.
And it's always it's kind of like that process of like scientific experimentation, isn't it? You start off with the lab rats, move up to the monkeys, and then you proceed with the human trials.
Well, I think in the Wikipedia it was saying Tom 6 was inspired by experiments at like Auschwitz and other Nazi camps, and possibly also Japanese Unit 731 or whatever it was. The horrible one.
I think there is some stuff in that. If you'll forgive me, I just got a super chat. Patrick Batman, thank you very much for dropping $5 there. £5, even better. Thank you. What's worse, Requiem of the Dreams,
bum to bum,
bumper to bumper, or Human Centipedes? What is happening there?
Bumper to mouth.
Gosh, I've never made it through Requiem of a Dream. I've tried it twice, and I gave. I'm not even saying it was a bad movie. I just couldn't quite connect to it. I saw Ellen Burstyn watching that weird game show. I couldn't get further. I think I dropped out after about half an hour. I do want to see it, but
I think
it kind of broke me.
I've not seen Requiem, but I think to answer that question, you need to define at what position are you in the Human Centipede, because all things considered, I mean, the Japanese guy's got it pretty good, if you know what I mean. Like, he's not having to like he hasn't got his mouth pressed up against anybody else's behind, and he's not taking on food from that's been kindly given to the person in front of. It's been kindly given to him by the person in front. I mean, don't get me wrong, it sucks, but if you're in the middle of that three, not good.
He very explicitly puts the one who causes him the most trouble in the middle.
I know. And do you know what? I loved that when he was like, "Do you know now? I have made my decision. You are the middle."
Yes.
Like, yes.
Well, but before we delve a bit further, I just thought I wanted to ask, where do you think director Tom 6 got his inspiration for this odd German man who wants to force a medical procedure on everyone, force them to eat certain things they may not want to eat, and sort of basically stop them moving around, basically locking them down. Where did he get his inspiration from? Sorry, hang on, wrong tab.
No. It's the other German guy.
Yes, Gunther von Hagen, I thought, is possibly some of his inspiration.
Bless you.
I'm pretty sure he has explicitly said it's who was the physician at Auschwitz? Joseph Mengele.
Joseph Mengele, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean they share a forename, Joseph and Joseph Heiter. Heiter, yeah, you can. It's maybe a bit close to the Austrian painter, but I thought, I mean, that's in there. There are signs of there's denazification hints in there, but they're a fair bit more subtle than other stuff, I thought. Things like they're going to a club called Bunker, and there's where is it? There's an Adler. Ich kann weiter auf Deutsch sprechen, wenn du willst, aber es geht nicht so gut für den anderen Zuschauern. Therefore, I will have to continue to conduct in my weird regional.
No.
But I hope you enjoyed it.
TCG, we better run. She's going to make us into a centipede.
People occasionally ask, and it's always nice to do. There's the Adler, the eagle thrown in there. Just little stuff, but I do think there's more interesting potential inspiration in things like Gunther von Hagen's body worlds. So, chat, if you're not aware of this is a traveling show where a bunch of extremely detailed corpses are on display being plastinated. That is, they've had a solidifying substance pumped through their systems, enabling us to get and understand basically a real life replication of their various internal systems, like as I'm showing on screen, the nervous system, their blood vessels, their muscles. You've got their shot of the heart.
Do you remember that Channel 4 series that was on quite a few years ago, where they actually did autopsies on human bodies?
I do recall it. Yeah, I think Charlie Brooker actually showed it in one of his shows.
That was a mad German doing that as well. And today we are going to be slicing this person into tiny, tiny pieces, so you can see fragments of the body. So you see the brain. We are going to slice it into 100 pieces, and it was like little paper thin slices. Like other bits, like they would dissect cut open the wrists of one of the persons, and then they're showing how the tendons work. And oh god,
yeah. I haven't seen that, but.
You got to check it.
It's sort of this interesting idea that we're more comfortable doing it. We've been able to. I'm showing on screen now a scene where they've been set up like a diorama, and you've got people visible in there. Is this giving anyone Hellraiser flashbacks?
Yeah.
Or alternatively, Robbie Williams flashbacks?
Hang on, are they actually real people that they've modelled into the? Imagine donating your body to science, and then your corpse is modelled up to play.
They do it specifically to him. Like specifically, they want to go to him to be plastinated.
Yeah,
wow!
And
the trio of actors in the James Bond film Casino Royale.
Yeah, this was in Casino Royale. Yeah.
Yeah.
The scene attack.
70 Sue is asking, is that thing that tours around? Yeah, I've seen it in London, and I've seen it. I saw it in Amsterdam actually. So it's quite interesting. But I thought, because I'm trying to bring this up a bit, there's actually a much older inspiration than even this that I thought you might be interested in seeing, and that's the Cappello di San Severo, and it's Human Machines exhibit. Now, I think people know Gunther von Hagen quite well, but I think fewer people will know San Severo and the Human Machines. God. This is from the 18th century. So,
Sorry to interrupt. Brundlefly has just said that the Gunther person was the same person that did the Channel 4 autopsy thing as well. So,
there you go.
I actually know some German you're talking about.
Wait. So yeah, way before Gunther von Hagen, we've got this, which is the anatomical machines, which are in the Cappella di San Severo. San Severo is absolutely beautiful. It's probably best known for the statue of the Veiled Christ, where the marble just looks like silk, and it's utterly astonishing. Just highly decorated family chapel in the heart of Naples. I've got to say, an area that I found, it's weird. Like Naples, I'm sorry, is an absolute s-hole. It felt.
It's Italy. What do you expect?
It was. Italy can be gorgeous, but Naples, I felt very unsafe. Like that was scary. But in the midst of like streets that felt extremely stabby, there is just like the most beautiful art, and the my brain is has emptied it, but the most amazing painting in a church. I can't remember. If Waifu is in the chat, she'll remember the. So we went to go and see it, but there's also San Severo, which you go down this dodgy alley. It's opposite a tattoo parlor. And then inside is this just amazing, beautiful family chapel. Every space decorated, the most incredible art from a chap who is obviously deeply religious, but also very into Masonic symbols, etc. It's quite an experience. And down in the base, well, down in a lower level of it, they have this display, the anatomical machines, which, as you can see here, they were purchased in 1756 on display. They are models based around real bones. So it's not entirely, and I think these might be replicas of the originals, but they are based around an actual skull and skeleton, and just building out the details of blood vessels, capillaries, nerve endings. And this was being done, it was purchased in 1756. Like,
that's fascinating.
So they have a man, they have a woman. They also had a fetus as well. Bit grim. Fez says, Naples, I remember leaving the station choking on the air. It was so thick with cigarette smoke and car exhaust. My experience was very similar. I found Naples a bit terrifying, and I got out of there within 4 hours. What I'm trying to show with this, I'm not just trying to like desperately raise the bar of the Human Centipede.
Okay.
But trying to show that like there's a long-standing sort of fascination going way back into the 18th century with humans as a machine, humans as something material that you can dissect and treat like this. The obvious other comparison is Frankenstein, but I thought we'd swing around that really and say like there has been this long idea of we could just treat the human body as something material to adapt, to try to alter, to try and perfect. And it's fascinating, but also maybe a tiny bit horrifying. And somewhere along the way, you get to, oh God, can I even show this on screen? Some way, it's a short path to this, really, isn't it?
Well, as soon as you start seeing people as machines you can tinker with, you'll see this as something you can do. Then it's the old Jurassic Park question: should you do it? Probably not.
I would ask what the benefit of doing it is.
Well, I mean, what's the benefit of doing a lot of science?
But with the other sort of things that Horrorshow was showing, there is. If you look at sort of, you could almost look at it from a sort of like cyberpunk dystopian type of way. If you're looking at modifications, it's the idea is to improve the human condition, to extend, like life, for example, that sort of things. But there's no real obvious benefit to what this guy does. It just seems like I can do, I want to try something.
Well,
Let's see if it works.
He never claims it's for the greatness of
No,
science and everything
no,
like
no,
that,
no,
so it's-
no.
yeah.
But just no. Of course, no. I'm just saying, like from what horror shows just shown us now,
Yeah.
to try and connect
Oh,
the
yeah.
two things. I'm not going to lie. I don't necessarily see how the two connect. The only way I can see it connects is through just like the interest of the human condition and like the human body and what you can do to manipulate it. But I think there are different sort of like thought processes going on between obviously what this guy's intentions are and obviously what like legit like what the real life sort of interest is.
Oh, totally. I mean, and TCG, you are right. There is a considerable difference between, say, the human machines. I mean, I find that title perfect. Human machines and body worlds, which is really about pure knowledge, and whereas Frankenstein and Joseph Heiter here, they are going from observing to perfecting. It's almost you're crossing that Hume barrier, going from the is to the ought. If I think I understand it, I think I can perfect it. I think I see a flaw I can fix. And this, I mean, to me, there's a lot in this concept of why he makes a human centipede. Not least so the director can have a kind of scandalous tagline and idea that will sell a movie. Let's not forget that. This is a commercial product, but I think there is something about this idea of like economics, efficiency. Like there's something kind of like efficient about it. Like you will share a digestive tract. Like
3 meals for the price of one.
I'm reading up on experiments done in medical experiments done in Auschwitz because I again hate my life. They apparently they did try and create artificial Siamese twins. So I mean, and giving things up Auschwitz. I imagine that's obviously the direct inspiration for this, which is not fun.
No, it's got some very grim bases in reality. I'm interested in why we got a film about it, and there's this. How can I say?
If Tom Six needs a psychiatrist,
I think he's quite a chill and interesting guy, and we can talk about Tom Six a bit more. I just thought just to build on this point about why do we get this movie? This is from 2009. So I picked up Nightmare Movies, Kim Newman's. I went to my 2020 book and it doesn't mention Human Centipede once. Weak. Very weak. And there's only the most fleeting reference in Kim Newman's book, but I'll read it for you here quickly. Right. Rumors of Americans seeking black market organs among the favelas of Brazil inspire a local mad medico to target affluent Anglo tourists for dissection so their spare parts can be donated to a hospital for poor Brasileiros. That's a film called Paradise Lost. Urban legends of victims waking up in baths of ice with their kidneys missing inform The Harvest and Sympathy for Mr. Vengeance, brilliant film. But organ harvesting rackets are presented in detail in Dirty Pretty Things, Coma, The Passage, 2007, Recycle Parts, 2007, Harvest Project, 2008, Train, 2008, Staunton Hill, 2009. In the medical dystopias of Repo, The Genetic Opera, 2008, and Repo Men, 2010, transplanted organs are repossessed if the patients don't keep up the payments. More unusual medical procedures are inflicted upon unwilling patients hauled in at random in Anatomy, 1999, Autopsy, 2008, Awake, 2007, Pathology, 2008, The Human Centipede First Sequence, 2009, and Pulse, 2010. I took a while to... I knew people would like that we mentioned Repo. I knew it. I read quite a bit there, but I did it to kind of get the idea. How many times did you hear 2008, 2009, 2007? Like quite a lot. Yeah. And it just seems like there was quite a big swing there, doesn't it? Quite a big focus on medical horror.
Yeah.
all around that period. And why, I don't know. I'm not trying to conspiracy theory here. I think there are trends in horror. And my brain kind of goes to Saw, and especially like Saw 3 moved heavily into like medical horror. And that was 2006 and took in a heck of a lot of money. So you almost wonder if that kicked things off, and then somehow, after quite a few things come out, 2007, 2008, Tom Six here thinks, I need to be a little more extreme.
I mean, I don't really think, like, I just sort of go through the list. I don't think really Awake was could you call that a medical horror? I'm thinking that's the one with Hayden Christensen, isn't it?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. Could you call that a medical horror?
I think so. He's having the surgery done on him, isn't
he? Yeah, and he is awake throughout it, I suppose. But no, it's not like that. He's the anesthesia hasn't worked quite properly, basically, and he's conscious throughout the whole thing, but he can't open his eyes or signal to anything.
I know of that film,
which is
but
surprisingly,
I've not seen it, and I'm just how do you fill the film with that? Though
I've seen it, and it's bloody stupid because again, I don't really want to spoil it, but I mean, how they ended the film the way they did just makes absolutely no sense. It was almost like that they predicted MAID before Canada implemented it.
It just sort of strikes me as like, that's a cool premise. How do you make even a 25-minute story out of it?
Yeah. I mean, I think it was based on a true story as well. But I know that sort of thing happens, and the things they've had to do now to try and mitigate instances like that. It's weird. I remember after seeing the film. I was with my wife at the time. We did a little bit of deep diving into like the actual instances where that happens, and nowadays when people go under, they've got all these like they can now sort of like tell when someone's sort of like maybe they're feeling a bit too much, and so they can like up the dosage a little bit just to keep them sleeping. Because that's always been a thing for me. Whenever I've had a
nightmare
general
fuel, isn't it?
Yeah, it genuinely is. And like, I mean, I've had general anaesthetics quite a few times now in my life, and thankfully I've never experienced that. But yeah,
that's woken up with a man with his mouth to your ass, you know.
No, I'm not going to say much too much information.
Head to Shieldings.
I no, I'm not going to. I did wake up with a little. No, stop it. Moving on.
John, you're probably right. I think John Garris is right. I think it's probably been done, but that only has to fill out like 22 minutes of story, which I think you can probably do with that. What I was trying to get at there is like, there's obviously a trend that produces this, but I think there's also a really interesting undercurrent in it of medical perfectibility of humans, humans being improvable, being able to make us more efficient. And there is a horror in that. I think there's a nice trend in it, because we're messy creatures, we're weird creatures, and attempts to perfect us don't tend to go all that well. You start this takes us down a long thread into managerialism, but effectively, like, you start a system for people, and then you start contorting people for the benefit of a system. Once it reaches a certain mass and scale, this idea of you get control over people and you want to twist them to your image, I think it's a deep theme in horror, and I think it's also extremely, it's extremely contemporary. It's extremely current as well. I mean, Patrick Batman, thank you for £5 here. As society moves away from God, the sanctity of the human body fades into objectivism. Or straight up materialism, just beings with a purpose, yes. Human beings are reduced to matter and protein, Think also of, The Matrix for a very normie example. Why not? It's all protein. Or, of course, Soylent Green. I think we have reasons to be on the watch out for this. This is, I think you could say, a good reactionary instinct in horror that is being fed through the Human Centipede. I told you guys, I'm trying to elevate the film, but genuinely, I think there's deeper stuff in here.
I mean, you've been talking, and my curiosity got the better of me. I've just been watching clips of the Human Centipede too. That film's so much worse.
Yeah.
I think with that film though, the one thing that I think.
Oh my god! I've just seen a penis in barbed wire. What the fuck?
Oh yeah.
Sorry
yeah,
to swear word. Sorry, but
oh
no! Oh god! I've just seen what he does with it.
Yeah, that's a special one. I mean, should we? This is maybe taking us slightly off, but I have gone on a huge tangent.
Yeah.
I think the reason you see part of what you see in Human Centipede Part 2 is that people said this is a little bit tame.
Yes.
Like it's a really gross image, but it's kind of tame. Whereas there's already a thread in this where Tom Six, the director, basically puts himself in the shoes of Dr. Heiter here and basically says, you are absolutely messed up. Like the fact that he immediately gets a camera out and starts shoving it in their faces. I read that as like a kind of comment about what a sick, twisted person he is.
Mm.
But he then takes it even further in Part 2 because people were basically saying it's terrible. And so he presents it in black and white, partly to get around censors, but also I think because he's trying to make it like a parody of an art film that critics would like. Yeah. And so in that film, he's received as a critical genius.
I read that the BBFC just refused to even rate the original cut, so he had to take 2.5 minutes out. And I'm watching the uncut version. Yeah, I've just seen a baby's head get crushed.
Yeah, that was one of the bits they wouldn't move on. The BBC did actually refuse to issue a certificate, and they held out for a whole 4 months before they agreed to cuts volunteered by the studio.
Oh my god!
But for 4 months, they actually did their job.
Where am I seeing these clips?
Yeah.
effedupmovies.com.
To kind of swing onto it. I mean, was this tamer than you expected?
It was about as much as I expected. I didn't expect to see much. Human Centipede 2. That is way worse than I thought it would be. Human Centipede 1. Human Centipede 1, I think it does a good job of being on the verge of just being outright gore porn. It's not really that gory, to be honest with you.
It could be a lot gorier. But I think there are deliberate things. I'm going to show something that might be a bit extreme, people, so apologies.
Yeah.
So this one, like you can see, you're told about the procedure, but you never see the connection of the buccal cavity to the digestive cavity, if you get me.
Yeah, not like Human Centipede 2.
Yeah, that shows a lot more. But you get these kind of the scars. I think there's a genius here in that they're made to look almost like a horrible Lon Chaney Jr. Wait, no, I got this wrong last time. Whichever actor was in The Man Who Smiled, The Man Who Laughed, there's like this horrible rictus grin shape in the scar.
Yeah,
I think that's genius. I'm gonna look it up because I got it wrong last time. Conrad Veidt. Chat, you corrected me last time and I remembered it's Conrad Veidt in The Man Who Laughs. But yeah, the fact that the scars look like a horrible twisted smile, I think is a great touch. But you're not seeing the connection of, lips to whole. It's that bandage saves a lot of dignity, but
not enough. It's. I think the bit that made me nearly throw up was where he was checking the last girl and poked a bit of pus out and was like, "Oh, you've got sepsis." To which I was like, "Well, of course she does. She's eating not very nutritious meals."
Yeah.
They went really close up, and overall, it's just effective horror in this.
Yeah, I think it's. I mean, I didn't want to see more. I thought they conveyed the horror quite a lot, and I particularly love that this scene. Like once he's got it assembled, he shows them the mirror. They see themselves in mirrors quite a lot, which I think is like getting across that most of the horror here is what's been done to them. It's showing them their lowered status.
Yeah.
TCG, how about you? Was this tamer than you wanted, or it was tame enough?
When I did the rewatch for this, it was a lot tamer than I remembered. I won't lie. So the thing is, the film when it first came out, or when it was first being promoted, people were naturally like disgusted by the theme of the film, and the reviews that came out in the weeks following its release. It was very sort of like hard hitting on the it's a well grim movie, it's disgusting, yada yada yada. And actually when you really sort of sit back and you actually see from a visual perspective what they actually did, they didn't really do much. A lot of the horror is like is like implied horror. It's more psychological, it's more it's more horrific on that side. This film I think was only an hour and a half, just over that.
Oh yeah, but I mean I think I had a couple of minutes nicked somewhere because my version was like 88 minutes long.
Yeah, I mean I think if again I appreciate, because this film probably didn't exactly have the highest of budgets. They could have put a lot more in this to actually sort of justify the hype, I think. Especially like during the operation.
The operation really spared you a lot of detail. I thought
the operation that operation did annoy me a little bit, because there's one bit when he goes up to one of the girls, and I think he starts like putting the pen marks across her mouth, like to draw up that bit. And obviously she's out for the count, but she's got no like tube down her throat or up her nose, like to help with her breathing, which is something that you would have to do for someone if they're under general. And then like he sort of goes away, and then like when he pans back to her again, she's got the old tube down her mouth. And I did think to myself, like that's a bit counterproductive, because you're going to be operating in that exact area where that tube is. Why would you not put it through her nose? And I only say that because, again,
that's a good point.
Because I only say that because, again, the last time I was out, the anaesthetist actually gave me the choice. He was like, "Do you want it down your throat or up your nose?" And I was like, "Well, what's the
which is more comfortable?
Which is more comfortable?" And he went, "Well, if it's up your nose, you won't have it'd be fine. It's like as long as your nose isn't blocked." And I'm like, "Yeah, go on then, do it."
How used to deep throating are you?
Well,
this used to be such a family-friendly stream.
Put it this way: I've been under quite a few times. It was the first time the anaesthetist actually gave me the choice. So, I'm always up for trying new things, Haryan.
Oh no!
Oh, gosh. Would you have wanted a bit more gore?
I would have
in the surgery scene.
Yeah, you know what I'm like. I do love me body horror, and this film should have had it. It absolutely should have had it. Get a competent makeup, sort of like visual effects artist or someone like that to work on that particular scene. I think it could have been brilliant.
I was thinking I kind of wanted some POV of one of the ones in the back waking up. And like what she would see if you could. But then would that humanize an individual member of the chain too much?
Well, I think
when the point is like they've been de-individualized.
Well, I think, yeah. I mean, obviously, the intention of the Doctor is obviously to dehumanize him. I mean, essentially, like we said earlier, he has gone through a process whereby he is convinced that he's created something new that isn't human, which is why he treats the three the way he does. But I think for the viewer, we sort of, in order for us to really sort of feel the impact, we kind of still need to connect with these people on a human level. And I think for someone to get that sort of like POV perspective of one of them waking up and realizing what's happened to them, I think that would be quite an impactful scene, which again is something that we don't really get. Everyone's muted. What have I done?
Apologies, I didn't want typing to come through.
Oh,
but,
okay.
Yeah,
I thought...
it's okay.
I got scared.
Yeah, I think you're right. We do get moments to bond later, like especially the end does really focus on like. I should remember the name because she just says they say each other's names so much at the start.
Yeah.
Do you notice like constantly just calling each other by their character name?
Yeah, which was weird because then they don't say anything for half the film, which I have to say, very good move by Tom Sid.
I knew you were gonna say something like that.
Lindsay and
I was
Jenny,
thinking to myself
there we
like Haryan's definitely going to say the best part of this film when he shut the women up. I knew he was going to say something like that.
Well, I was implying it before. Why put the man at the front? Oh, the man.
Did somebody say patriarchy?
Based.
Something I have to ask actually. Haryan, forgive me. I asked you already backstage, but I'll ask you both again. Because this is something that changes depending on which version of the film you see. What was subtitled in your version? Was German subtitled and Japanese?
German and the
or
Japanese.
Just German?
Yeah. No, it was both. It was everything was subtitled. Yeah.
Oh, I had Spanish subtitles.
Oh, okay. So wait. So does that mean you didn't have any idea what the Japanese guy was saying, or
None at all?
Yes,
None
brilliant. This, as I said, this is something that changes. Some of them give you subtitles for German, but others give you no subtitles. The version I have has no subtitles whatsoever, and I kind of love it.
Do you know what the beauty of it is? I didn't even have German subtitles either. So when you had the police officer and Joseph chatting away to each other, again, I'm sort of having to call the scene based on body language and whatever broken German I could understand.
So,
Trinker!
So yeah, no wonder this was just torture porn for you.
Yeah,
I couldn't understand half what was being said.
I didn't need to understand it, Haryan. I just
mean,
wanted
to be fair, yeah, it's such a predictable plot. It doesn't really matter, to be fair.
Yeah.
Could I maybe make a case that it's kind of a touch of the sick genius humor of the film?
I suppose you could, yeah.
You can make the case. I don't whether it's a good case or not.
I just think it's this kind of wonderful trolling of the audience that you've got two Americans and then they stick a Japanese guy on at the front to do all the talking.
Yeah.
That no one can, you want to understand, but like the person speaking for you is just doing his own thing. And it's this wonderful troll of, like whenever South Park gets Kenny to do a verse in a song and it's just.
Oh, yeah.
It kind of reminded me of that, like the absurdity for the audience who expect to hear English, that the Japanese guy is at the front. And I thought when I saw that his sections were untranslated, I loved it.
That's not what South Park did in Human Centipede. Junichi was very much an English speaker.
Just very broken, yeah.
Yeah. Very well. I will eat all the cuttlefish. I've got the script here for that episode. My favourite bit. I've got it here. Hold on, where is it? Yeah. Oh, here it comes. Oh, it's going to be a what? Hold on, Kyle. I believe in you.
Oh no. I mean, in this section, I'll risk it again. Like, I thought this is the equivalent of that, which I thought was quite underplayed compared to what I remember. But the equivalent of that, where he, I mean, this is super nasty. Your man at the start, who I know is Akihiro, played by a guy called Akihiro, and I've forgotten the character name because I'm not sure it's ever said in the movie.
I don't think it is, and if it, I don't think he ever gave himself.
Katsuro. Katsuro.
Oh, is that
there
his
you
name?
go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, yes, that. Yeah.
Katsuro does like go forward and say "gomen, gomen," and it's like, okay, yeah, I know that's sorry, which clues it in, but in case you miss what's happening, you do have Dr. Heiter there saying, "Oh, feed her, feed."
Mhm. In case you couldn't tell what was going on.
Did he? Forgive me for swearing, but was it also like "eat it, bitch"? He also says, I think,
I think so.
or "feed that bitch."
Yeah, something
And
like that.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, actually, I've got the bit right here.
I'll go for it.
Yes. Oh, the subtitles aren't up now. Oh, that's because he's speaking English.
Yeah. I mean, he was so excited about that. What did you make? Because how can I say, like, that bit it was the only bit where I felt he almost had like a kind of a sexual energy about it, that he was.
Yeah, he says swallow B word, which
That's it. Oh, thank you. That was it. I
which
thought that was a.
It's got a lot more of a sexual undertone when he says it that way. Somehow making the whole thing worse.
Yeah, the whole lick my boot thing is something that he does could be read that way.
No, I thought he was saying bite. He was saying bite my boot, wasn't he?
Oh, that's it. Bite my boot.
Bite my boot. Yeah, bite my boot.
Yeah.
And later, like, he just whips them with a crop, which has also got certain undertones to it. But interesting, that happens off screen, which I think is kind of merciful.
I do just quick tangent, but I do enjoy how your screenshots are all Twitch approved. This is artistic nudity, so
I try.
Oh yeah,
yeah. This is the meta, the Human Centipede meta.
I wonder when they're going to allow artistic porn on Twitch.
Sorry, Harry, to roll back. I mean, I kind of want to stick on that, like whether there was much of a sexual motive to this, because we're trying to work out why he wanted to do this. Human Centipede 2 goes all the way in. The Martin, the protagonist of that, is just absolutely in it, and for perverted reasons, and that's mostly why human BBFC had such a problem with it. I might move us off that.
Yeah, save Human Centipede 2 for a different video, a different stream, and I'll come back for that and have my sick bucket next to me. I don't. I think while there were undertones of sexual motivation, it certainly wasn't his main one. I mean, as I said at the start of the film, I thought he was masturbating in the car. He wasn't. He was just missing his dogs that he killed. And then he swims naked at one point as well, actually.
So then if you were alone,
he is
in your
German.
house,
Yeah, but as I say, he is German. They do that a lot, I believe. I mean, I don't think he was like a sexual fiend or anything like that. I think he was just very comfortable in his own house and skin.
Yeah.
I also think. I also think for this particular scene, there was like a level of like excitement because now he's getting to witness firsthand like another step in his experiment.
Yeah.
How are they? How are they going to handle the nutrition?
Yeah, I mean, you could definitely say that there's it is like the obvious process that he's designed to do. Like, he's seen them walking around, that works, and now he's wanting to see the feeding working. There was just something about I think you could understand, whilst it's generally not sexualized, there's something about the sort of feed her, swallow bitch that you could read that way. But I would say the main clue about his motivation is in the scene with the mirrors. The fact that he goes from, I'll just show these, looking down, and there's they're looking up at him. It's this kind of godlike angle he's got. He's their creator. He's made them. So classic Frankenstein. Then he's wanting to document, be in charge of it. And then he moves on to the mirror where he shows them themselves in the mirror. And then he moves on to looking at himself and kissing his own reflection in the mirror.
Yeah,
like he's so proud of himself in this. So I think whoever said it was kind of like I don't know, a god complex thing, I think is onto something quite a lot there. Oh no.
You're not you when you're hungry.
Oh, Fez.
Actually, saying that, I think someone earlier in the chat said that they were having a Snickers.
Not a Kit Kat. Surely it should be a Kit Kat.
No, I don't know. No, you're not you when you're hungry. That is Snickers, isn't it?
Yeah. I just think, but Kit Kat's conjoined, isn't it?
No, but you have to break it apart. Unless they're like one of those things that eat it without breaking it.
Oh dear. I want to move a little bit just because Harry and you dropped something that I wanted to follow up on.
Yes.
You said there was something you found really difficult to watch. I'm going to get it up on screen because I saved an image of it too.
Oh God.
Could you tell me a little bit about? Oh, sorry.
No.
Before we go on, Adam loves horror. Oh no. When she's hungry but won't say what she wants. That's so right. She doesn't want chips, Adam. She wants your chips. She doesn't want any dessert. So true.
It actually does sort of fit the theme of this film because
thank you very much, Adam.
She didn't eat them. She didn't want the meal. She unfortunately had to have his meal.
Oh, it does. I mean, what do you think made this one so tough to watch? Like, what was it about this bit, Harry, that really got
sorry,
to you?
You've got it on screen. What do I need to explain?
Harry, before you answer, I just want to point out that my wife would absolutely love this scene. She loves all that sort of spot popping videos and that sort of stuff.
They're so good, aren't they?
This wouldn't bug her at all. Anyway, sorry about that.
Have you ever seen mango worms being removed? It's absolutely amazing. Your wife will love it.
No, I haven't seen it. No.
Oh, she'll be all over that. Thank me later. Anyway, I'm just interested. I mean, sometimes you can't explain it. It's just like that is your visceral fear. Like I can watch horrible stuff happen to humans, but anything to animals, I can't watch it.
It's more like blood. I'm mostly okay with. It's when it's septic stuff like this. I'm just like, oh no, like pure disgust.
Do you think? Sorry, mate. I talked over you there.
No, I was done. Go on.
I was. My theory is it's more effective if you can relate to it, and it's like we've all been there. What, like you've got a blister, you've got a spot or something, or you've got a cut, it's infected, or some nail. But we've all been there where it's swollen up, it's painful, it looks like that, and because we can relate to it, it's that much more effective. Like we don't know what it's like to have, I don't know, razor blade up the frenulum and then dipped in sriracha, but we do know what it's like to stub the toe.
Yes. I mean, I've had septic parts of my body like this and had to have the pus brought out, and it was very painful. But
did you film it, mate? YouTube will be all over.
Why would I film it?
Think of the ad revenue.
You want to break that 10K, bro?
TikTok didn't exist when this happened.
I'm going to move it off for people because
yes, please do.
Folks aren't particularly fond of that image. POV, Tinder's working out for you.
POV, you're having your septic cheek being looked at.
What are you doing, Astepro?
Oh no.
Oh dear.
One thing we haven't talked much about this film, though.
Sorry?
What we haven't talked much about in this film? The officers.
Oh, we can do that. We can do that.
Yeah.
Patrick Batman dropping £2. Thank you so much. Pro vegan movie. They are the new cows. 3 stomachs. Well, but Patrick,
true.
I do think there is something about managerialism wanting that level of control of you. I think it's in there. And you'll note this is coming from a Dutch director, well, ahead of his time, because Dutch government is making quite a lot of moves around restricting that country's ability to do agriculture. You know, I think this movie, people might say it's just dumb, it's just stupid, it's just a gross out, but there are themes, there are reasons about why this is a horror about medical procedures and why it's a horror about trying to perfect humans. I think there's something in it. But maybe I'm reaching. Maybe I've gone totally cray. Who knows? Before we get to the officers, I wanted to ask TCG: was there any bits like that you found particularly hard to watch? What was the most effective bit of horror in this for you?
It would probably be injections. They gross me out every time.
Yeah, I can see that. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no.
Elon Musk noticing me.
When you really want to get those Musk bucks. Oh dear.
Alex Jones. Elon.
Yeah. Sorry.
To talk
Gigi, I
about
saw
the
you
frogs.
got completely distracted. Sorry. What? Sorry, I got distracted. What was the bit you found hardest watching?
I don't like injections. I hate injections.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always get grossed out by that. Like I say, I love the whole body horror stuff and all that jazz, but injections. Ugh.
The teeth being removed was amazing.
I didn't mind that. I didn't. Yeah, that was good effects. Like the effects in this film. Like I was just the previous picture you had up. I mean, ignore the pus bits, but I was actually looking at the makeup to create the scarring, and it looks really good.
It's really good. Yeah,
it's really good. And I just think like there's an opportunity wasted there by not getting all creative with the operation and actually being able to see more, because really all you see is like little bits of flesh cut out from I think the legs, I think it was, and other than that you don't really see much else, and it's just like
they had a very realistic butt made up, which they could cut up that looked really realistic, that never looked like a prop to me.
Like I was thinking, like how many times would they've had to go through that particular scene, like and do you know what I mean? Like because I just it was just I was looking forward to that scene the most, and like I say, when I originally watched it, just because you because of the hype, you're grossed out and things like that, and then when I watched it on the replay, I was a bit like, oh, you don't actually see that much, really. That's a bit unfair.
I wanted to volunteer a couple of moments that I found. I mean, I hear everything you say. There's effective stuff, but we could have had a bit more because we take a while to get to it, including a 10-minute sequence of multiple sort of escapes and then recaptures, escapes and recaptures.
Yeah,
and I did check. Like I think it's 11 minutes, which I thought was maybe a bit excessive for one of the characters trying to escape, just delaying it a bit. You may judge differently, but 2 stand-up moments for me was at the start of that escape sequence. I know the actress now prefers to go by Winter Williams, but the one playing Lindsay, who goes in the middle, when she escapes and she runs off and the IV drip needle in her arm gets ripped out.
Oh yeah.
Waifu and I flinched at that horribly. That was nasty.
I completely forgot about that. You're absolutely right.
We twitch like proper, like you're watching and you just go like, yeah. We did that. Totally got us.
I mean, mate, should have used the cannula.
Yeah. By the way, 30 people in chat and 17 likes. Come on, folks, we can get that up. I want to see that like pressed. Let's get those likes up, folks. I've just seen that. Come on, help a stream out. Let's see those likes shoot up.
Let's stick those likes together like a human centipede.
Yeah, give them money. Jeez, you bunch of cheapskates.
A like costs nothing, folks. Only your dignity. The other thing, like I kind of meant to kind of meant to get on this earlier. This really stood out to me in terms of horror. This is a very different sort of horror, but when he kills this guy, the fact that they're restrained and he does it in such a mechanical way that he just pumps something into the guy's syringe.
Yeah.
How can I say that he doesn't kill him? It's like there's no passion in this, but the fact that he almost like turns him off like a machine, I found that really disturbing. Like that got me. That messed me up.
It's a lot more. It's a lot more effective than if he just like slit his throat or something, because you just think at that point, oh well, he's just insane to the point of the film's just pushing you to a point where it's like no one's this mad. Whereas if he does it this way, it's this guy knows what he's doing, and then the horror's even more effective because everyone else in that room's like, this is a really arbitrary way to go, and it's fairly painless. It's more just you are at this guy's mercy. You don't need blood in it or anything.
It's like he says. It's like it's nothing personal. I just you just don't match, so you've got to go. And so so it's not something that he is doing out of. I suppose. I mean, obviously, it's evil what he's doing, but it just feels like it's a procedural thing to do rather than something that's malicious. Like, okay, well, I've gone as far as I can with this test subject. It's time to now just euthanize it and move on to the next one.
Yeah, it's so dispassionate. I think is just what makes it really disturbing. I mean, this is a guy who is indifferent. Dr. Prepper. That's a great word for it as well. Dispassionate, indifferent. But I think it's just treating people like machines. I think of, it made me think of when Switch is killed in The Matrix, or do you remember in Saving Private Ryan that when there's that fight up in an upper level and the German soldier gets the better of the Jewish lad and just it's that.
Just like slowly pushes the knife in. Yeah.
It's the slowness of it and the helplessness of it, I think, is what really creeped me out about it. John Goris has got it. Yeah, the coldness of it. The coldness of it is scary because girls know how casual this guy is about just snuffing his captives and what's in store for them. Yes, really, really well expressing it. Cold, indifferent, dispassionate. But afterwards, he also sort of collapses, like, he is affected by it, but in a way that I just don't understand.
I think I do. For him, it's more of a setback. It's not because I've had to take a life. It is. I think it's more of a this is a setback for me in my experiment. I'm now going to it's two steps forward, one steps back, and I think that's where the grief is for him. It's just like, oh man, I can't realize my vision now. Yeah. So close, and I'm gonna have to try and problem solve again.
Yeah. How can I say? He's not a man without passions. He's not a psychopath, but the things he's motivated are very different. So this guy that he's gagged up there is this trucker. It's just that's a setback. That's an inconvenience. He really wants. These girls have dropped into his lap, and it's just so lucky for him. He's really excited, I think, because he was going to have to go out and get new people, but they've come to him. He can't believe his luck, and then what a setback. But the guy does have passions. He says to the girls he despises people, and I believe him, but he buried his dogs, and he puts a little gravestone there, mein lieber Dreihund.
Yeah.
He loves them. He has a photo of them by his bedstead.
Yeah.
By the way,
he loves that. He loves dogs. He can't be wrong.
Dreihund. That's photo.
Dreihund.
That's photo. That's just one dog photoshopped 3 times, isn't it?
Oh yeah, totally. It's just Photoshop. You want to see it again? I did find this really funny. Like this does have a wonderfully sick sense of humor in it that I just absolutely. It's not. It knows what it is. It's not taking itself seriously, and as I pointed out, like the director is taking the mick out of himself a little bit, and even more in the sequel. Yeah, there's a dry hunt. The best Photoshop could do. Adam Loves Horror has dropped another $5. Thank you ever so much. Oh right, you've warned me about the typos. I'll do my best, mate. It's always the scariest, or
It's always
always the
scariest.
yeah,
It's
always scariest when
yeah.
there is nothing special about it. Yeah, anyone can happen to you at any time. Strangers, yeah, funny games. Great references. The strangers, they're all hunted down for 90 minutes and they ask why us, and they're told because you answered the door.
Yeah.
And there is a very similar terrifying moment like that in a great book called The Mandibles. If you want it's not a straight horror book, but it's got horror in it. It's a book called The Mandibles by Lionel Shriver. Very interesting. Funny games. We were going to cover it in October in the intense horror season, and no one wanted to. I offered guests a choice, and no one went for funny games at all. And I've tried to sneak it in the meta arc, and no one ever votes for the meta arc.
I'm not. I can't with funny games.
Yeah, it's too much, isn't it? Thank you so much, Lemla's Horror. Much appreciated. Yeah, I actually, I'll tell this quickly. When I was in the Lotus Eater's office, I did speak to Dan, who does Brokenomics. I tried to push. I pushed the Mandibles on him because it's a great economics book as well. It's about basically what happens when American society collapses because its currency basically stops being the world reserve currency. I know that doesn't sound like it sells it very well, but it's a very interesting one about economic and societal collapse due to fiat currency failure. And I thought it had some very, you just saw the author had really done her research. And it was scarily believable as well as darkly, the word I'm looking for, it's satirical, darkly satirical. Great book, really great book. Sorry, I went off on one there, folks.
All good, all good.
Yes. You notice also in this, he does his first sequence and he does the amazing title drop. He immediately started planning for a fourth when the officers came along. He's like, I'll get 4 more in. I'm going to make it a 4. That's my clumsy segue into the officers because you wanted to talk about the Haryan.
Yeah, because they're idiots.
Oh, Haryan, what makes you say this?
I've been watching a lot of crime shows with my girlfriend since we moved in. And officers are actually very good at telling when there's a suspect that very, very likely has either kidnapped someone or killed someone. And well, yes, they probably would need a search warrant. They probably have more than enough of a reasonable excuse to kind of get one. They just don't seem to ever have one. The only reason they break into the house second time is because they hear screams, isn't it?
I think so, yeah. I think so.
They do get their warrant, I think.
Oh, they do get their warrant. I didn't even think they had one because the second time they come in, he's saying like, "Why have you got this syringe full of a strange liquid I don't recognize?" And it's like, why did he bring that up with him anyway under the towel? It's and the doctor's saying my research is off limits to you, and it's like, oh no, don't say that. You're clearly hiding something.
I did.
He can't exactly. To be fair, he can't exactly say, "Oh yeah, come down into my basement and see the dry people I have sewed together."
Yeah, but did he have to bring up research at all? Couldn't he just say, "I'm a retired old guy. Why would I kidnap people?"
He could do, but
he doesn't even do anything remotely close to that. He makes it more obvious than ever that he's got something to hide.
Oh, didn't you enjoy that they respected the need for a warrant?
Vaguely, but at the same time, it's kind of you'd get that within the day.
Yeah, my gun is my warrant.
Yeah.
Yeah. How about you, TCG? Fan of The Officers? Did they work for you?
It does seem it does get a bit corny again. Like I didn't really understand what was being said, because unfortunately I don't. My German's very rusty, and I never learned Spanish. Perhaps I should have watched this with my son. He's learning Spanish.
So,
But the sense that I got from the scenes was that there were red flags everywhere with the mannerisms of the doctor. Like the point where he's got the drink and he's obviously like laced it with something, and then he's like trying to get him to take a drink.
Drink it up before you leave.
Yeah, and he's like proper shouting like drink it, and it's like
yeah.
Why are you so desperate for me to drink this? Like, chill, man.
Yeah.
And he's like, I've just been overworked.
Yeah.
They literally bring up the fact, that there was just this big, like, 16-wheeler quite near your house that's just been left there for a while. And then there was another car out in the woods near you that has just been left there. And 3 people are missing. These are all near your house, and there's no other house for miles in these woods, but we'll still get a warrant. They were incompetent. But I think, as we've said before, it's quite hard to make competent policemen in horror films.
Yeah, you have to dumb them down to make the story flow.
It's you either need them involved or you need a clever way to get them away. But you can write really clever ways to make cops go away.
What was that film that we watched the other week? Just as a prime example of that, where you had that pregnant woman. Oh God, what was it called? Inside? Inside. It was called Inside. Yeah. I mean, if you want to see an example of stupid cops, Haryan, go and watch that film. Like, they literally
2023.
Yeah. They bring.
Inside 2007.
That's the one.
Okay.
It's a French one, à l'intérieur.
They arrest the dude and they actually bring that guy into the house with them while they're responding to a call. It's like, what are you doing?
Impressively useless.
They are honestly like right dipsticks.
I like that you said stupid cops, and Dr. Prepper and Adam Loves Horror instantly said Inside.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, of course.
It wasn't just that though. It was at the end when they're going through the house as well, after they hear the screams and they're investigating. How did the doctor actually kill the guy at the pool? Because he didn't have a gun,
off screen,
did he?
so don't worry about it, bro.
No, I want to.
I missed that.
No, right. Here's my headcanon because it's so stupid. So all he has armed on him while he's had his ligaments in his legs cut or whatever happened to him, he couldn't walk. He goes to sit in the corner of the pool, the corner of the pool, like the far side corner, like the right as you go through the door. An officer goes in to check what's going on, and then you hear like a fumble and a gunshot. And then the other officer comes in and he just looks at the dead officer in the pool.
Yeah.
And the doctor has the gun. So bear in mind, there's a good, 20 feet away from each other when this happens.
Yeah.
So my headcanon is he was in the corner with the knife. He was, oh God, I just hit the mic. He was like playing Call of Duty or something, threw the knife at the back of the officer's head. It hit him. He then in his death animation, threw the gun across the room. That must have hit the wall, gone off when it hit the wall, and then landed next to the doctor, who then managed to pick it up to shoot the next officer.
My headcanon is since the doctor who's stumbling in there is feeling the effect of the Rohypnol, isn't it? He even specifies it's Rohypnol. Yeah. I think he was basically stumbling and useless at that point, so he's kind of easily stabbed. And then he drops his gun and the gun goes off.
Yeah, but as I say before, he's in the corner and he's in the same corner again, the doctor. So it's like the doctor didn't move, or he crawled there and back for to get the gun, I suppose.
It is possible that there was an editing error. There may be one or two in the movie, such as right at the start when they're absolutely soaked.
Do they have dry hair coming in? Scene?
And then the very next scene, yes, they're completely dry. Did you notice?
No, I didn't notice that.
I think they didn't want to wreck the sofa, to be honest.
Yeah. I mean, because he says he'll go get he says he'll go get a towel because she spills the water. To be fair, she's really creeped out. I could understand dropping the water like an idiot.
Yeah.
So, there you go.
But yeah, it's a bit sus, and I think it's a thing of make it happen off screen, and then you don't need to worry. I just kind of got the feeling that the cops thing was there to take him out, and it was a bit perfunctory. Do you think that's fair to say?
Yeah, kind of have to have cops in if his kidnapping plan is only goes so far as I'm taking the people back to my house. He's not really thought it through with the cars and car being left where they are, and the massive 18-wheeler being left. He probably could have found a better way to kidnap people. He is a doctor after all, and he's in the middle of the woods.
Well, he's a doctor, not a criminal mastermind.
Damn it, Jim! I'm a doctor, not a criminal mastermind.
But I do. I mean, to a degree, I do agree. But I mean, there is a level of incompetence that this doctor has. It's almost like he's so focused in completing his experiment that he's not fully focused on things that he should be like focusing on. Like you rightly point out, Haryan, he's kidnapped a guy with an 18-wheel truck. He should really think about doing something about that. They're not exactly hard to miss. Equally, a car's broken down on the side of the road as well, and it is left unattended. And as you rightly say, his house is the only house for miles. It's like it stands to reason that they perhaps might have stumbled across the house upon the house.
Yeah.
And he wouldn't have known about the other Hal Fricken beforehand.
They don't ask about the Japanese guy though. I'm wondering how he kidnapped the Japanese guy.
Oh, he just
got a delivery of cuttlefish.
Yeah. Hello, I'm here I'm from Amazon.
The old cuttlefish trap.
Can I take a picture of you to confirm I have delivered the cuttlefish?
I think there are ways around it without introducing the police, especially as I don't think they're the most convincing police in the world. Like, they're not in uniform, which I know not every policeman wears a uniform, but it just kind of feels like it's a bit of a money sit. Do you remember American Mary, where they had the one cop, and then we just realized, wait a second, the cop always meets her in the street because they don't have money to go to a police station.
Yeah.
They don't want to build a set, and I just get that vibe for these guys.
I mean, it's just are German police officers armed as well? I don't even know. I assume they are. Most in Europe are. But no, plainclothes officers going in second time, not really having a warrant, just going in when they hear the scream. It's what do you do?
I think
they suck.
To an extent, it may have been to pad out a bit. I mean, I think there is a small amount of padding in this, not egregious, but the worst bit for me is the escape, which should not have taken 11 minutes. The escape attempt. No? Am I too harsh on that, do you reckon?
You mean hers near the start?
Yeah, it's half an hour in, just before the surgery. And it takes 11 minutes.
Yeah, I forgot. He tries to break a window open with the barrel of the gun. Use the bigger end, you idiot.
Yeah.
And the bit that isn't going to damage the mechanics of firing your dart. Annoyed me that.
I figured it might.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
prediction.
I think it added to the tension.
Well, no, it can add to the tension. Well, no, it can use the big bit and just not get through.
No, I'm not talking about. No, I'm not talking about the gun. I'm talking about just the chase scene as a whole. Yeah,
I don't think it was a bad chase sequence. It seemed to overdo it with the pool bit, I'll say. Because he just walks off when the power goes out, which I thought was a bit weird. Like
a little bit. Like,
what else does he need to worry about? What does he need to worry about with the power? Just take her, because it's not like he's locked them up with electrics. They're in their bindings, like leather bindings.
They wanted to establish, I think, just that the girls were friends and they were going to try and help each other out. 70 Sue, we're still on the first movie, but we're only covering the first movie tonight, and I think we'll hopefully finish in time for our 10:30 deadline. Yeah, we'll do our best. This is also, I think, like a nice foreshadowing of the fate ultimately that she's going to be stuck dragging her dead friend around.
Ah, nice bit of imagery there.
Yeah, but I found it was a bit long, and it's like you know
Kind of
you got over
foreshadows the
80
end.
minutes. That's fine.
Yeah,
80 minutes is fine.
Yeah, kind of foreshadows the end as well.
Oh, totally. I'll be honest. I could have done without the cops at all, and I love the ending. I think the ending is absolutely brutal, but you could have got to that quite easily. Like if just your Katsuro and the doctor face off, inflict brutal wounds on each other, and basically Katsuro is then left dead.
He kept calling him kamikaze, didn't he?
I think he might
did.
have.
Yeah, it kept coming up in the subtitles. I remember.
Oh
no, hang on a minute. Yeah.
He does. He does mock him and
Kamikaze,
call him
yeah.
kamikaze at one
Which
point.
again is funny foreshadowing. Well, not funny,
Yeah.
but it's foreshadowing as to what he does in the end.
Yeah, and the actor there, I should get it right, Akihiro Kitamura, got to write his own little sort of sacrificial speech in Japanese, which was great. But
nice.
I think, to be honest, Katsuro and Dr. Haita could have taken each other out, and then you can still get to the ending without the police coming in.
Mm.
And I'd have liked that because.
And do you know the thing about that as well? It's really because I was thinking about this based on because obviously at the end of the film she's the only one alive, the one in the middle.
Yeah.
And on the one hand you think, oh my god, she is literally in the house surrounded by dead people. No one's going to find her. Yada yada yada. And then I remembered, well, hold on a minute. If you've got police that are in that building, and surely they would have radio in their location where we're going, and if not heard from them, police would go in, to the last location. There's every possibility that she would potentially survive this experience by virtue of being found by police who would then stumble upon that crime scene.
Yeah.
But if you do what you suggest and take the police out of that, leaving her as the sole survivor out of the remaining 4 people, she'd have no hope. That's truly horrifying. There's no hope of her being found.
Yeah, I mean, leaving her in that fate, connected but alone. I'm like,
there's a very good chance she'll be found. 2 officers were there and they died there.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. So yeah, based on this ending, the idea of this ending is that she's now alone and left to essentially starve to death or whatever. But actually, the reality could very well be that she survives this experience because other police will naturally go to where these 2 dead cops were last and find her there. And so she could actually very well survive this. And sure, she'll be traumatized, scarred for life, physically and mentally, but still comes out the other end. Yeah, she'll live. So why she crying?
She could get out of this even now, but it would just be.
I mean,
it would be very painful, but she could.
She
only has to make 2 cuts to be free, and she won't walk again. But maybe let's not detail that too much. Let me ask, guys, how did this ending sit with you?
I could see what it was going for, but it didn't earn it.
It didn't earn it. I'm interested. I'm interested in that.
Well, there aren't the only character in this is the Doctor, really, and even he's not particularly 3-dimensional. He's just mad scientist. He is, though, isn't he? This film isn't trying to be particularly clever. We go on about all this art house stuff and how it's got artistic merit. It's like, yeah, but so does a dump in a toilet. It's.
Look at you attacking Marcel Duchamp again. Terrible.
I could see what type of horror they were going for. It's like, oh, you wouldn't like to be in this situation. It's like, well, no, I wouldn't like to be any part of this film. You are correct, but you have to kind of earn these things. It's.
I will push back and say I think we got a fair amount that's more than mad scientist. Like we got some of his motivation, some of the themes of it. But,
sure. Well, yeah. Well,
We're not saying he's going to get an Oscar, but I think it's not like he's just a crazy maniac.
As I say, he's not 3-dimensional, but he is 2-dimensional. He is both crazy and insane, so I'll give him that. But no, I mean the ending's obviously just, oh, imagine you're in a situation, isn't it horrible for this girl? Yeah, sure, but your film could have been 10 minutes long. You didn't even need policemen. You could have had the scientist off in a much more. How does he? Doesn't he shoot the police officer, and then as the policeman's falling, he just shoots him and gets a shot on the head somehow?
Yeah. I'm afraid so. The golden word is perfunctory.
That is a word. I'm going to assume what it means from this context.
Oh, it's just like rote, like okay, that he needs to die. So yeah, they.
Yeah. I had the subtitles of the Japanese. I still don't. It seems like he's just killing himself. I don't really believe he would kill himself. I think he'd try and power through and keep on escaping. And he kind of just says, "Oh, I'm not making my choices anymore, but at least I can make this one," and kills himself. And I just think he's so like in shame because of how much he just has to poo in this woman's mouth. I don't think killing himself and have her attached to his dead body he would accept, you know.
Oh god, the way you frame that's brilliant.
The thing, I guess he knows what really hurts the Doctor is like he can destroy his creation.
I mean, maybe, but the Doctor, assuming the Japanese guy even knows English, he should already know that the woman at the back's dying. So the creation's failed anyway.
Well, he points out that she's dying anyway. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. So that's why.
So he plans to replace her with the 2 police officers. It's like what?
Yeah, it's like please. It's yeah. This film's definitely just better than what I thought it was for years, but it's not much better than what I thought it was for years. It's still mainly that aspect.
Yeah, I think the thing about this film is I think with a little bit of tweaking, it could be a lot better than what it actually is. But it's not. I don't think it's a bad film because it's a very simple. It's a very simple film.
It's not bad. But it's certainly the ending does ruin it for itself. The beginning and middle are all fine or it's a competent film. It does.
Interesting.
It does have a plot that's actually does mostly make sense. It's just the main way it works is the cops are idiots and random things happen at the end. He wanted an ending where just the woman in the middle survives. Woman at the back's dying of sepsis, so that's all fine. Japanese guy kills himself. Just don't see that being the case.
It just seems very stereotypical, doesn't it?
Yeah. If I may, I mean, I think they were extremely inspired by Saw. Hang on, here we go. Like this lighting scheme alone.
Yeah.
Very, very Saw.
Yeah.
And especially Saw 3. And I think with those films, they all build up to something I love, which is like one moment of like one particularly horrific situation. I will not spoil the Saw films, but every one of them climaxes in this moment of extremely intense horror of just someone trapped in this unbearable situation. And that works for me. And I think they had that approach when they made this. They, just like you said, Harry, they knew they wanted someone trapped in the middle. But so for me, that was despite the officers, that was a really strong bit. But I asked both of you, and TCG, you gave me a lead in there. What tweaks would you make if you were going to like try and move this up a fair few points in the scores?
I would probably increase the gore level personally because I just love that sort of thing. Maybe I will compromise with John. Not with John. With yourself actually. If they shortened down the chase scene, but extended the operation, I think that would be quite cool. I'd probably agree with Harry as well. Maybe lose the cops. Just because I think it does sort of go out the window a little bit again, especially with the doctor's motives, like why he would consider using two, doctors who were tied, not doctors, police officers, who are obviously tied to law enforcement, who would obviously have people who know where these people are. It kind of doesn't make sense. But yeah, just tweak it to a situation where there is like no actual hope for for our good lady in the middle, because that kind of threw me towards the end when it was like this is supposed to be this really dramatic ending where she's the only person alive, and I just after it finished, I just thought to myself, like after a couple of minutes I was like, nah, she'll be fine.
I'd yeah.
By the way, big agreement on that. I would happily have more gore. I would also quite like in the fight scene, in the final fight, when you've got a bit of because you built up the logic a lot by then. Just imagine a scene where Dr. Heiter can still stand, and to get the edge on the guy in the front, he say kicks the middle one's shoulder so their head is wrenched back. Just think about the impact of that on the guy in the front in a fight. Like if you have her sort of torn away, oof, that'd be a heck of a visual.
Yeah.
But yeah, I support that. So Haryan, some of your suggestions to ramp up the points.
I complain about the police officers. I wouldn't say get rid of them. I think that makes less sense. I think the better option would be have them a bit more competent and have the doctor a bit more competent. Have maybe the access to the the underground secret Human Centipede lab behind a book. Like something as simple as just hide it behind a bookcase. So that he then doesn't have to get rid of the officers as quickly as possible to not search the house. Have it more of a he's like, oh yeah, come in, have a look round. There's nothing to hide here type scenario. Haven't actually looked like he's thought through that part. And then I can't decide which way to go. An ending I've just kind of thought up of, because the rest of the middle's basically fine, if not good. But in the ending, make it so that the officers maybe have a bit more evidence that he must have, at least seen the two girls, and that they have evidence of him lying to them. And then he takes them away as the sepsis girl's dying. So the sepsis girl dies at the back, and then the Human Centipede's kind of stuck there for a few hours. And then,
like locked in the basement where they're not going to be discovered.
Yeah, and maybe have it so he's taken in overnight. Things get worse for the guy at the front and the girl in the middle. He's starting to starve. You can move on from there. Maybe have an ending where the doctor comes back, realizes he has to euthanize it, and you could even end it there, where it's like he's failed this experiment, but he might do another. Kind of have an ending like that.
Would you? Okay, so if we're keeping the cops in, would you have liked to have seen some scenes? Again, like they don't have to be massive scenes or anything like that. Like nice, like one or two short scenes of the cops, like going to these, going to the let's say crime scenes. The missing, the car that the girls own, the 18-wheeler. Maybe speaking to one or two witnesses, getting a connection, and then following up on that lead to the house, because they sort of just turn up, don't they? There isn't any sort of build up. They just happen to turn up.
Yeah, but you can infer all that. That's
of course, but just to sort of demonstrate their competency by obviously putting very obvious leads together and then seeing that through to its conclusion. Because I do agree with John to a degree in the chat. That the guys are sort of following the book. They're very sort of letter to the law. They don't sort of overstep the boundaries. And Germany is a very sort of I don't know, like a regimental nation. They are very much they do sort of follow orders to the letter of the law, as opposed to sort of act outside them. So it kind of does make sense that they would act in that sort of way. I think where it falls apart for me a little bit is where it starts to go a bit Pete Tong for the doctor, and then obviously the cops then act like when he runs in and sees his friend, like his colleague in the pool, like he should be able to. He should have reacted a lot quicker.
Oh yeah, he shouldn't have just looked at
like
it.
Exactly, yeah. Like there is a big gap in time between him seeing them and then the other and then the doctor shooting him, like that irked me. But I perhaps would have liked to have seen maybe one or two scenes outside of the house where because and also as the viewer as well, you could sort of build up hope that these people could be found and rescued as the film's going on, whilst also sort of like juxtaposing that to them going through these really terrible ordeals because of this doctor. I think could be something to think about perhaps.
Yeah.
Yeah, they'd get you involved a bit more. I know. I guess I felt like I just didn't like the police getting involved in it. There's something about when a police get involved in the story that you kind of have a certain predictability built in. Like you just know the police will have to take things forward. Even if you kill the police, then more police will come. I don't know. They have an effect on a story that I just don't go for. But, okay.
Wanted stars, aren't they?
Oh, precisely. Yeah, that's quite a good comparison, actually. We're starting to get the warning signs. The late's coming in. Yes, we may struggle on this one, but we will. So I will ask for your scores and closing thoughts at this point, lads. TCG, if you'd like to go first, mate. Scoring out of 12 burgers, and of course, chat. Drop your own scores for Human Centipede first sequence. Now,
the things I like about this film is that it is a very simple story, which helps my simple brain follow it. I do like the Doctor's performance overall. I think he nails it in terms of like your crazy mad Doctor. I actually don't think the women were too bad either. In terms of their performance, I mean, there's a lot of crying, obviously, yada yada yada. But yeah, so overall performances, I think, acting wise, were pretty solid. In terms of sort of like the horror itself, again, I think it does. I think it does well. I would have personally liked to seen a little bit more gore, just purely because A, it's a personal preference of mine, and B, the way that the film was sort of promoted in the build up to its release made me think it was going to be a lot more gory than it was, or what I originally even remember, because I didn't really think of the film as deeply as I did or as I had to for build up for the rewatch. That being said, it was a bit disappointed that there wasn't as much focus on the actual operation itself in terms of the actual procedure being carried out, and I do think that with the cops, I think more could have been done with them in terms of build up, or rewrite that ending to not have them in it at all, because it kind of ruins that final shot for me where you've got her, as I say, being the only one alive, because actually the situation isn't really as hopeless if you follow that through to its logical conclusion. Overall, though, I'd probably sort of sit it between sort of like, I'd have to give it a 7 out of 12 burgers. The ketchup's a bit dry. Plenty of meat. In fact, I'm going to put 3 patties, one on top of the other, but ensure that the arse end of the first cow was on at the bottom, at the top, followed by a nice one in the middle, and then a face up cow at the bottom.
Lovely.
With a little bit of cuttlefish as well on the side. I'm not going to eat it though, because Jesus Christ.
All right. Wow. Okay, no, I think that's a winner. And chat is coming in around 6, 7, 8, 9. We do have a 10 from John Cross. I've also seen Walgon in here saying he's here because of Last Things. Thanks, Walgon. You've reminded me. I meant to mention this right at the start. Thank you for prompting me. That's the other thing I should shill, guys. The Last Things Film Festival. Can I put a link to it somewhere? I'm going to find you a link, guys. This is something I did. A very good friend of the channel. Really interesting guy. Fantastic film reviewer, Last Things. Did a film festival chatting with a whole bunch of extremely interesting people. I was very flattered to be asked. And I went on there and I actually covered a very different film I'm just getting this up in chat for you here. I talked about Everything Everywhere All at Once, the Oscar winner from this year. And it was nice to sort of break out and do something a bit unusual. So I meant to shill it at the start and I didn't, but I'm going to shill it now. So there you go. That is the link to where you can purchase access to the festival. Use my discount code proper LPS23 for 50%. So basically it'll be $6 in total. And that gets you about 30 hours of content with some really interesting people. Highly recommended. And Last Things is a great guy. Walgon, thank you so much for the reminder. I knew I meant to do this at the start, but there you go. My link is in the chat. You can use that. Highly recommended. If only for my conversation about Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Nice. Hark at you with your own discount code. That's sweet.
I'll say it now because Last Things isn't on here, but I did ask for a custom code, and he rejected every single one of them.
Oh, okay.
I think it was TCG's DBP BBC, and also Mr. D's physique folder were some of the ones I requested, and he refused. So
I don't blame him. I don't blame him.
I knew I'd... yeah, never mind. I thought I'd get away with it, but no. Anyway.
Mr. D's physique folder.
I thought I'd get away with Mr. D's physique folder, but he wasn't having it. Never mind.
Tell him if he approved that one, I would have signed up. Unfortunately, so no dice from me.
Anyway, there you go. Enjoy it. Highly recommended. Charlemagne's review of Cape Fear is really great. By the way, that was the last one I was watching. Anyway, more scores coming. So we've got a 6 there and a 7 from Mima. Crikey. Fair. Haryan, over to you, my good friend. What are your closing thoughts and scores for this one? Haryan, you muted.
I'm muted. I'm an idiot. Right. Don't worry, I'm back. The film, it was better than I was expecting, but you got to realise I was expecting a 2, so it's higher than that. But I don't want to say it's lazily written. The guy was clearly inspired by medical experiments, especially those at Auschwitz, as he says, and you can see where it came from. And obviously, he can't do a horror film of Auschwitz; that might be a bit in bad taste. So he decided to make it in slightly better taste and have people sewn up ass to mouth, which it is in good taste for those at the back. But we do what we do. I think he wrote a competent film around that idea. As I say, the ending was what really let it down. He just said, I wanted the woman in the middle to live and did not find a good way to write that ending into it. I honestly would have just picked a different ending anyway. I think, the woman in the middle surviving is just, it's one a bit too predictable. And if you're going to do something like that, it needs to be I need to actually care about the woman. I don't really care about random tourists in Germany, I'm afraid. You've given me nothing to kind of get on her level with, aside from she's a defenseless woman. Police officers are just idiots. The Mr. Evil Scientist man is very, very clever with his way of putting a centipede together, not very clever at getting the cops off his tail or even kidnapping them. So good work there. He's also a complete idiot because he just keeps letting them escape almost. He's not very good at keeping them secure at where they need to stay. And then he answers a phone in front of them as well at one point, and it's like they're obviously going to scream. Why would you answer?
Yes.
So you've got an idiot antagonist, idiot police officers, and everyone else is a one-dimensional character because they kind of have to be, because all they're there for is to become part of a centipede. So despite all that, the actual plot itself, it is fairly competent and decent. The motivations are just, it's a bit deeper than he's crazy, as we say, but still not. You don't necessarily need a third dimension for this anyway. That's not where the problems with this film are. So having said all that, I firmly put this in the category of mid. I'm debating whether to put it lower mid. It's either a 5 or a 6. I think the more I'm thinking about the Doctor and the police officer's stupidity, it puts it down to a 5. But at the same time, effective horror, effective storytelling, characters need quite a bit of work. Mainly just the Doctor and the police officers. That you really don't need the Centipede to be any more than a one-dimensional people in distress character. So yeah.
I'm pretty chuffed with that, to be honest. I really thought you'd be going for a 2 as well.
No, well, as I say, I was expecting it and was pleasantly surprised.
Well, you say that, Horror Show. Did you want me to read out the prediction?
I do, but before that, I just want to read out. Patrick Batman has put in £5. Thank you ever so much. This is interesting. I've got a movie suggestion. No One Lives, 2012, directed by Ryuhei Kitamura, same director of Midnight Meat Train, which we absolutely love on this channel. Don't look up the plot. Go in blind. All right, I'm in. Because I love Midnight Meat Train so much. And by the way, massive recommendation. Anyone who's not seen it, Midnight Meat Train is fantastic. I watched another one of his recently called Downrange, and I found that very disappointing. It felt very drawn out, but kind of like Gerald's Game in a way, but less good. And that kind of put me off, but I'd happily take another chance on one. Because, again, Midnight Meat Train, great, versus his Japanese movie. Also interesting. Yeah, I'll happily do that. And I quite like it when people say just go in blind. So, yeah, you've sold me on that. Thank you again for the super chat and the recommendation. Nice. All right, TCG, would you like to do the prediction?
All right, prediction for H-Dog. Horror Show's words, not mine. This was better than Haryan expected, and the human played a big role in that. He found the cops ridiculous and the women unlikable, but was relieved they didn't dominate the movie. Dieter's Laser's performance, also Akira's, helped bump up those burgers. The premise remains too repulsive for him, and he will not be watching the second. 5 burgers, less ketchup than expected, and a fair few pickles.
Yeah, pretty accurate. I mean,
I'd say that's pretty spot on. Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't have watched the second one, but I kind of was in the background. My curiosity just kept peaking. That's a horrible film.
The second, I would say there are clever touches, but not enough to justify it.
No, the second one definitely looks more like the gore porn you'd expect from this film, but this film does a bit more to earn its gore porn. The second one literally just seems to be a mentally deficient guy goes around murdering. That seems to be what the second one is.
Yeah, you pretty much nailed it. Again, with that one, there seems to be less of a story, and it's kind of like it's kind of like the complete inverse of this film. There's no story, but it's all gore. And don't get me wrong, I love gore, but you kind of do have to sort of balance it out a little bit. I remember watching that one, just thinking, what the did I just watch? You know, like, what?
Things like being a parody of an art movie, a classy art movie the critics would love, and portraying the director as a well-received genius auteur in that movie is kind of fun for about 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And then you're stuck with another 80 minutes of people swallowing much more detailed feces and horrible things happening in the barbed wire scene and all that business. So the joke,
I think
the joke is clever, but it's not worth the film. So
no. Well, in the third one, isn't Tom Six actually in it as well?
He's in the second one. I don't know about the third. I have not watched it. Okay. I did enjoy. I'll just read it. I meant to read this earlier, but the BBC's description of it is quite fun because I wanted to see if they'd forced any cuts in Britain, but it doesn't look like it. But in their section, Threat and Horror, the central conceit in which 3 people are surgically attached anus to mouth to share a single gastrointestinal. Don't clip this. gastrointestinal tract provides the film's elements of horror and threat as the victims are chained up, drugged, and left terrified by the surgeon's explanations of what he plans to do to them. Once the surgery is completed, no detail is shown of the contact between the faces and anuses of the victims because the attachments between them are covered in bandages. Although the central idea of the film is undoubtedly grotesque and revolting, the scenario is so far-fetched and bizarre that there is no plausible risk of emulation.
Oh no.
Just in case kids copy it, that is something the BBFC has to worry about. Is anyone going to copy this at home?
Well, I left my surgical kit at my mum's when I moved out, so I probably won't.
I'll skip it. Well, okay, right. Closing thoughts. I think I heard the memes of this. I didn't expect much. I got a lot more from it. I think as you guys heard, I found so much in why it was like this, why this surgery was chosen, that got me very interested, and it's presented very competently. It looks good. This is a nicely shot movie. And even if I had some questions about the women's acting at the start, they don't really have to do much later. And everything after that, it's very well handled. I really appreciate the very dark, almost anti-audience humor, as I mentioned. So that's a winner for me. I think it's a firm 7 for me. It's a firm 7. It's got those weaknesses, particularly in the ending, but ending on such a strong image gives it quite a lot of staying power. And also, Dieter Lasse's performance really works. He was like 68 at the time. 66 when he filmed this, by the way.
Wow.
It's an interesting performance, but yeah. Doesn't take itself too seriously, has some interesting ideas, and has wonderful dark humour. So it's a 7 burgers for me. Not as much ketchup as I hoped for. Fair bit of pickle, but not misusing the pickle. Darkling has come in saying he loves this film. Gutted you missed half the stream. Have we covered Switchblade Romance? One of your fave French horrors next to Martyrs? No, but we are going to do a French Extreme season. So when we do that, Switchblade Romance, Martyrs, maybe we'll throw in Irreversible, although people might find that a bit too much. Maybe The Vanishing. I know that's Belgian, but hopefully you can get away with that.
I just before John's just reminded me, actually, I want to take this opportunity really to thank Tom Six for creating this film, because had he not, I don't think that I would have eventually been inspired alongside Froggy to convince Academic Agent to do the unpopular opinion stream on the ALQ.
Oh yes, the legend. Excuse me. Point of order. I believe it was a cigar stream about the ALQ.
Cigar stream. Okay, fair enough.
Oh dear. Yes, legendary ALQ stream. I remember it. That was before Mr. D's day.
It was very. Yeah.
Oh dear. Yeah. All right. Brilliant. Well, we have overrun by about 12 minutes.
Oh, classic me.
I'm hiding under my table right now from Super
Not
Nanny.
apologising.
Super Nanny is very strict these days. Oh my goodness! Right. So we have given our scores. We should give the homework for next week quickly. And somehow we're still monetized, by the way, guys. I don't know how.
Hey,
welcome.
Oof, someone's a fan of the old ALQ.
Hey.
Homework for next week. It could be tricky. I am not going to be around next week, so what I'm hoping to do is record a discussion about Better Watch Out from 2016. I am hoping I can do that, and I'll put up the recording, but I'm going to have to work out the logistics of that, so bear with me. But even if I don't manage it next week, Better Watch Out from 2016, and hopefully we can discuss it another time. We'll know we all watched the same movie. That is a Christmas-based horror that I'd never heard of before, so it should be fun. And you're definitely going to get your money's worth for this channel. On Saturday, 8 p.m, the Scream 6 video is finally released. Anyone who's heard me for the last month knows the pain I've gone through trying to get that past copyright. Brutal. But it's finally out. So Saturday, 8 p.m, UK time, join us for the Scream 6 stream. It will be a hoot. Massive thanks again to Haryan and TCG. Links to their channels are in the description. Thank you again, guys.
Thank you very much for having
Watch
us.
my stuff.
Do it.
Thank you for having me on.
Oh, it's a pleasure getting the gang back together.
Oh,
I'll give you something higher end next time, Haryan.
Oh, thank God. There's a direct line between you asking me to watch Human Centipede 1 and me watching Human Centipede 2, just saying.
I'd be a lot more careful before I recommend that to people, you know. Yeah. And thank you, chat. I see people have appreciated the stream, and I'm grateful. It's been a lively chat, and I knew there'd be mixed opinions on this, but I think we've had some good discussion. So thank you ever so much, folks. It's been a good one. You have your scores for the Human Centipede. You have your horror homework, and you know exactly where you're going to be on Saturday, 8 p.m. And also, thanks to everyone in the rewatch before I end the stream. I actually remembered. Guys on the replay, if you made it this far, I love you guys. You're brilliant.
I just want to address something in chat. Bilbo Balboa, thanks for signing up for this one. I didn't sign up for this.
He actually resisted quite a bit. I just went into the DMs. I was like Haryan at the time.
This is 3 years in the making. I'm actually only on here because I'm currently being kidnapped by a proper horror show. So, you know, you are lucky you got me for this one.
Yeah.
Can I be let out now?
Maybe let you out your cage. 72, I'll just answer this quickly. The 72, the Shining commentary is being recorded as part of my blockbuster project. I don't give a date for that because, crikey, the work involved in that is massive. But I am filming now, and I have recorded one of the commentaries already. Black Christmas is my next one, and I've been doing my research for The Shining. I'm a nervous one about that because I absolutely love The Shining. It's a very important movie to me, so I really want to get that one right. So The Shining, I'm probably going to record towards the end once I've got more of the hang of it. But it's slowly trundling along, but it will come out soon. Well, early next year is my hope. But then commentary on Black Christmas, I aim to drop before Christmas for you all. All right. Well, that is everything. Again, you've had a discussion. You've got your horror homework. Better watch out. 2016. Give it a go. Hopefully we'll be there. And I'll see you Saturday at 8 p.m. for Scream 6 commentary. And with that, slightly late, I will sign off. Thanks, y'all. Cheers.
Hold on, Kyle. I believe in you.